very warm welcome to our Tampines Hub for the first AIA Singapore Premier League match of the season for both Tampines Rovers and Balestier Khalsa, a matchup that we are really looking forward to. I'm joined in the company of former Stag himself, Shuko Zailan. First of all, how good is it to be back at our Tampines Hub?
Wow, Duncan, I feel very happy to be back here again. The moment I stepped to the stadium, it gave me goosebumps. 3 good seasons, I learned a lot. I played my good football here. I'm happy to be back here.
Talking about good football, Tampines Rovers have been playing good football and have been on a good run of form. Just that draw in midweek against AIA FC, but they've won the previous 2 matches before that. You saw them in the Community Shield as well. How dominant were they and how good are they looking at the moment?
Well, it reminds me a lot, same like every other year Tampines has been playing good football, a lot of passing. It's very exciting to watch them play. Even me myself, watching from the stands or even from the television, it's good football.
And what about Gavin Lee, a very young coach, the youngest in the league, but it shows that, you know, age is just a number, even for coaches, not just players.
Well, I don't know him well enough, but I know he is very good in doing his prioritization in coaching. His method is very simple and he's very detailed person. So he has a plan. His plan is always to play good football. Well, we'll see what plan he has today.
Tampines Rovers, as I said, played in the AFC Cup in Manila against AIA FC. Came away with a draw, but the more important thing is, will fatigue play a part? I know it's still early in the season, but playing 3 games in a week, how does that affect the physicality of the players?
Well, from my own opinion, I think I've gone through this playing in the AFC and then coming back for the league game. He's definitely tired. But again, I think Coach Gavin, his prioritization must be very good. He will rest players well enough, just in time for big games like this. And also depends on what he prioritizes, whether he wants to go all the way for AFC or he wants to go all the way for the league or both. So it really depends what he wants at the end of the season.
And what about the type of football that Tampines Rovers play? I know Brunei DPMM got a little bit of stick for the way they approached their games last season, a lot of Route 1 football. It was effective, but in terms of pleasing to watch, easy on the eye, what do you make of Tampines Rovers? The best in the league to watch?
Well, we still have Lions T Sailors. So I'll have to wait until I watch Lions Sailors play. But at the moment, I would say that Tampines and Albrechts play similar football, a lot of passing on the ground. It's very entertaining, a lot of passing, a lot of movement. So yeah, it's eye-catching.
And what about Balestier Khalsa? Of course, they finished bottom of the league last season, but they've made some good signings. Hoshino, the big one, Zulfat Suleiman, and of course Jufri Taha in the Tigers squad as well. They'll do better this season?
Well, I hope so, because as you can see, they have quite a good players like Haswan, the striker from Albrechts Niigata. And last year they focused a lot on develop players. So this year maybe they want to go as high as possible. We'll see.
They've improved up front, but at the back, Zaiful Nizam is a big return for them. Injured for most of last season. How important is it to have him? And of course, Yazid Yassin, now goalkeeper coach of Balestier Khalsa. So those two will work together well.
Well, in terms of size, Zaiful, people always say that he don't have the height. But then again, he used that disadvantage to his advantage. He's a short stopper, the same like Yazid Yassin. So I think he's one of a consistent goalkeeper that we have seen when he's injury-free. And it's unfortunate for him to be injured last season. But his presence is felt very strong around the team. So he will be a good influence for the team.
Another point to take note of is Huzaifa Aziz, formerly of Balestier, now with Tampines. And of course, Zulfat Suleiman, formerly of Tampines, now with Balestier. How is it like playing against your former club, especially in the very first game of the season?
I think they will have mixed feelings because maybe they have some revenge they want to go after, I don't know. But usually they want to play best football. It doesn't matter you play against your ex-team or any other team. To me as a footballer, I think any game is a big game. So you want to perform well, not for the current moment, but for the future.
I think they will definitely have a point to prove. All right, our reporter Barbara Latimer has been out and about, and for Tampines Rovers, they have a very special promotion going on, and she caught up with the fan club and the merchandise that they are selling this season.
I've got with me Nick Hunter, Honorary Secretary and Treasurer for the Stags. We've got the merch booth today, and you've got like the away kits, the home kits, the scarves. What else is happening here today?
Yeah, so first home game of the season. We've got all of our replica shirts from Mizuno, home away. We have some fan t-shirts, a little bit cheaper over there, which last year proved popular. And then the other thing, I guess, this year is our season pass. So this is a $50 entry for 2 to every home and away game. League, Cup, AFC, ACC, which also doubles up as an EasyLink card. So we're hoping that that's going to be popular and get the Stags name out there on public transport and in shops. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. We're super excited about today's match. How are you guys feeling about it?
Yeah, I think we are all pretty confident. We've had the benefit of a few warm-up games in the AFC, so the team looks like they're gelling together quite well. But football is football, and you never know. So I'm sure Balestier will make us work hard today.
Awesome. Well, all the best for sales today. I hope it goes well, and we'll see you soon.
Good stuff, Barbara. There's certainly value for money, $15, and you get a whole lot of stuff with that. So good stuff by Tampines Rovers. All right, it's time to go for a quick break, but coming back, we'll hear from the 2 head coaches and have a look at the team formations and lineups.
Huh? Welcome back live to our Tampines Hub. Kick-off now, less than 20 minutes away. Let's catch up with the 2 coaches ahead of tonight's big game, starting first with Gavin Lee.
I have with me the head coach of Tampines Rovers, Gavin. You guys have played, this is your 3rd match in a week. Do you think that there might be any sort of fatigue or tiredness when it comes to today?
Yeah, I guess it's natural that fatigue accumulates, but it's our job to make sure we recover to our best abilities and maybe certain players get a little rest so that we prepare ourselves for longer games coming up soon. So yeah.
And we've got a couple of your previous players who you're going to be going up against today. Any chance we might see some sort of rivalry or any spicy stuff going on that as a result of that?
I'm not sure about that. We've just got to see. Obviously, we wish all our players that have left the club very well, but today we just focus on us and let's see how we do.
And of course, it's we all know that you guys have not lost to Balestier in 12 meetings. Do you worry that there may be any form of complacency from your guys when they go into today?
No, I think not today. I think our players are focused. We know it's the first game of the season. We want to kick it off well. And so we'll do everything we can to get the performance in so that the score will come in after that, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We look forward to seeing the match.
What a cool cookie Gavin Lee is, and what an impression he's made in such a short space of time as head coach of the Stag. So it's really the master against the apprentice here, because the man that was Singapore Coach of the Year in 2014 is in the opposite corner to Gavin Lee today. Barbara's now catching up with the Balestier Khalsa manager, Marko Krajovic.
I have with me Marko, head.
We are counting down to kick off right here in our Tampines Hub. Now let's take a look at the team.
Of course, first game is of course it's tough, you're playing against Tampines, and they already started the season with the AFC Cup and they've done it very well, and then a big hard game.
So talk to me a little bit about your game plan for today, given that, Tampines Rovers, they have started off with quite a bang.
I mean, if you game plan, you must keep your clean sheet, If you can keep clean sheet, we got very good players up front. We can score the goals. I think first important we do close down. They have few very good players who need to watch out.
Awesome. Well, 2019 was a season that I think we're quite happy to put behind us for you guys. Do you think that you have the squad to surprise a few people this time?
Yeah, of course. This is history now. We focus on this year and 2020. I am very confident we can do much better than last year.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We look forward to seeing the match.
Okay.
Number 15, Sean.
Thanks so much, Barbara. That was Barbara catching up with Gavin Lee and, of course, Marko Krajovic. And let's touch on Tampines Rovers ahead of this match. We were talking about Kaya FC. A bit of fatigue might have been creeping in with them. Erwan Shah has been arrested, and a good inclusion in Shannon Stephen into the side. So they have changed it a little bit around, but not too much. Is that good to just keep a winning team?
Well, of course we want to see one shot playing, but you need the rest. If rest means rest, but Stephen Shannon has chance to prove himself. Doesn't matter. I think he will get the job done today.
Boris Kopitovic starts again. He had a few chances against Kaya FC, but you've been impressed with him so far, Tampines Rovers number 9.
Oh yes, I am. I think he's a good target man. He's technically good. As you can see, he can the boxes, good timing in runs, and he scored a goal in the Community Shield. So I guess he's a good forward.
Daniel Bennett is on the bench. Huzaifa Aziz, formerly of Balestier Khalsa, now with Tampines Rovers, also on the bench, but their back line is really strong. Shannon Stephen, I think, on the right, Shahrul Sazali down the left, Amirul Ali and Madhu Mohana, centre-back pairing. That's very strong.
Yeah, I agree. I think all the 4 defenders very solid at the back. So I think the chemistry is so good, and I hope they can keep a clean sheet today.
For Balestier Khalsa, their midfield, their central midfield duo will have plenty to do. Arish and Faisal Rafi, both formerly of Warriors FC, now straight away put into the mixer up against Mehmedovic, Nakamura. It's going to be tough for them today.
It depends. I guess young players, they are hungry. Maybe they will perform today. We didn't know because Tampines will know their strengths. These two players. So we need to watch how they play first 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we will see how good they are. And then we'll see from there.
Oshino and Zuzu will lead the line up front. Hazwan Halim down the left. And also keep an eye on Kartik Raj, given his debut this season, highly rated. And, if he wants to prove himself, this is the stage. First game of the season, given your chance, your debut, it's about taking your chances when you've been given them, isn't it?
Yes, I agree. First game, you're hungry. You want to show everybody what you're capable of doing in the game. So I think this first game, you want to play good football, you want to play to your best so that everybody will give you credit, and then you can keep your place in the first 11.
All right, our player to watch, our man to watch in today's game is Tampines Rovers number 8, Kyoga Nakamura. And when Shadan Sulaiman left for Lion City Sailors, many fans were wondering, who's going to plug that gap. It looks to be Nakamura, and he's been fantastic so far. What have you made of his performances?
Wow, I think he's one player that has been consistent last season. Doesn't matter Shadan left. I mean, I was at Tampines again, like I said, for 3 seasons. I leave, but somebody is there to replace me to play good football, and Tampines has been doing that. And as you can see, size does not matter. The world's best player is Lionel Messi. So I think he's comfortable playing with anybody as long as players want to play with him. So I think he can perform up to his good performance this season.
You make a good point there. It's not really about size, isn't it? It's how good you are. You don't have to be the biggest player in the world. If you can escape from those players trying to put in heavy challenges on you and skip away. You talk about Messi, midfielders, Xavi and Iniesta, they prove that size doesn't matter, but can he provide it on a consistent basis? He was part of the team of the year last year for Albirex Niigata, but can he prove it now with Tampines Rovers and with continental football? Is it going to take a toll on him, or do you think he can do it all season long?
I think players age fine in seasons to come. They get mature. So I'm very, very sure he'll get better and better in many, many games to come.
So Nakamura, Memedovic, and it looks to be maybe Joel Chu to be part of that midfield trio. Really, really exciting stuff. Shuko, if I were to give you an opportunity to give me a match prediction, your former club, of course, Tampines Rovers, what would you be the scoreline and how do you think the game will pan out?
I think it'll be exciting today, entertaining, of course. I'll go with 3-0. 3 to Tampines, 0 to Balestier Khalsa.
And where would the goals come from? I mean, yesterday you were really quite spot on with Albirex Niigata and Geylang International. Where would the goals come from today? And will it be a quick start by Tampines? Or can we see perhaps fatigue might come in and they might have to get their gears going as the game progresses?
I'm looking at late goals because it happens a lot last season with Tampines Rovers. So yeah, I'm looking at late goals, maybe half-time 0-0 and then second half they will bang in the goals.
Very specific there. I like that, Shuko Zailan. All right, fantastic stuff by Shuko. Not long to go until kickoff. And then when we return after the commercial break, we'll hear the recognizable voice of Patrick Kinghorn.
Welcome back live to our Tampines Hub. It's Sunday night, Singapore Premier League action. Not one but two games this evening. We'll keep you up to date with the score as the Young Lions take on Hougang. But we're very much concentrating on the East Coast here with Tampines Rovers, last season's runners-up, against the side that finished rock bottom of the pile, Balestier Khalsa. But coach Marko Krajovic has made some very interesting additions to the Tigers staff, including most notably the top scorer from the 2018 Albirex title-winning side, Shuhei Oshino. Can he be the difference maker amongst a team that also boasts a very interesting new centre-back, an absolute giant? You won't be able to miss him when he comes out the tunnel shortly. Wearing number 5, Ensa Bruncevic, an absolute brute. I'm told they call him Bruno. And with Tampines having Big Boris up top, it's going to be a Battle of the Bees. Boris against Bruno. It's coming up live shortly on the One Play Sports Network, as well as StarHub, Singtel, and of course the Football Association of Singapore's social media channels. Kick-off now. It's just over 10 minutes away. Stay with us to enjoy all the action. And if you did miss out on the first game of the new season 24 hours ago, a reminder, Albirex battered Geylang by 4-0. 2 reds for Geylang, and Albirex very good value indeed for that 4-0 win. The Stags faithful are in the house. The black and yellow army always here to make some noise. Coach Desmond Dong, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Chairman Desmond. He told me he's 39 when I saw him downstairs earlier, so that's the first lie of his new year out the way. And of course, along with Nick Hunter, they do such good work. You heard from Nick Hunter speaking with Barbara Latimer earlier on before kick-off out there in the concession stand. But there, for me, sums up what Tampines is all about. A real family club. Great to see so many different ages, races, people from all over Singapore coming down to our Tampines Hub to enjoy it. And if you haven't been to our Tampines Hub, it really is a magnificent venue, a testament to the ingenuity of Singapore evolution. You've got the football pitch and stadium right in the middle, and outside there's a big cinema screen showing sports events, movies. There was a movie on, I think, How to Train Your Dragon was being shown this morning, followed by Planet of the Apes. Here it's Planet of the Footballers as we get set for the Stags against the Tigers. If you search around the social media channels, you can also catch up with the action at Jurong West as the Young Lions take on Hougang. We'll keep you up to date with the scores as they go in that one as well. But the focus for the next couple of hours right here at our Tampines Hub is the team that finished second last season against the side that were rock bottom. And it's incredible to think while Balestier take to the field for their first professional game this season and competitive game, Tampines have already played twice in the AFC Cup. They had that incredible 3-3 draw before going out in extra time against Bali in the AFC Champions League qualifier. And you add to that the game in the Community Shield, where a second half display swept aside last season's third place team Hougang by 3-0. And on that subject, I'll be getting my website address out for Jordan Webb, I'm sure, if previous appearances against Balestier are anything to go by. Jordan Webb has scored in each of his last 3 appearances against Balestier Khalsa. The new names to look out for among the Tampines squad, of course, as Duncan and Shukul mentioned in the pre-show. There's a new signing in Kyoga Nakamura, and it's those 2 men, Gavin Lee and Faroudin, who are responsible for what hasn't exactly been a revolution, because as Shukul said, Tampines have always been there or thereabouts, but it's the brand of football they've been playing that's exciting many people around the Singapore football scene. And there's no question Gavin Lee, still in his early 30s, is a surefire future national team coach. As for Marko Krajovic, well, once upon a time, Marko was the bright young thing in Singapore football. Cast your mind back to 2014, and the former Tampines Rovers player, Marko, led Balestier to a major piece of silverware in the Singapore Cup, and that was enough to earn him Coach of the Year honours for 2014. 2 nicer men you couldn't wish to meet in Gavin Lee and Marko Krajovic, and we're about to see their 2 teams face off here. Incidentally, the substitutes must give them a mention, because Daniel Bennett, 42 years young, starting his 22nd season of Singapore Premier League action. And it's incredible to think, if not for a couple of sojourns back into Europe to try and make it there, he may well have played in all of the 25 seasons of Singapore professional football. He's back from an injury and on the bench today, as is Torpok Suporno, who was a goal scorer the last time these teams met here at our Tampines Hub back in September, and that game finished in a thrilling 3-3 draw. So, everyone in the stands, like me, getting a little bit impatient to welcome the teams out onto the pitch. They'll be with us very shortly. We've had a couple of presentations, haven't we? Yesterday at Albrecht, we had one of the executives of the Canon sponsors being presented with a memento shirt. I've not been given any word that there'll be any pre-match ceremony today, but kickoff is just moments away. So here we go then. I think you can hear from the stadium announcer in the background. The teams are about to come into the arena live on the One Play Sports Network, on Singtel, StarHub and the Football Association of Singapore social media channels. We're set for the first game of the season for last year's runners-up Tampines Rovers and a side that will be looking to improve on their rock-bottom placing last season, Balestier Khalsa. A cracking atmosphere in a glorious location as the sun sets here on the East Coast in Tampines, our Tampines hub, the venue for Tampines Rovers against Balestier Khalsa. Match balls this season sponsored by Mitre. And there's a reminder, we hope we don't see a lightning warning at some point this evening. It's always the dread, isn't it? You're bound to get one during the Singapore Premier League season. Let's hope it's not tonight. There's our officials, led by a referee, Farhad Mohammed, his assistants today, Manoj Kalani and Tan Min Kai. And congratulations to our referee yesterday at Jurong East, who didn't bottle the red card decisions and got them absolutely spot on. We're the first ones to jump down the referee's throats when they get it badly wrong. That was an example of the referee getting it oh so right. So congratulations to Zulfikar Mustafa, our referee there yesterday. As you can see, Tampines, they've jettisoned the yellow, wearing black this season. And Balestier Khalsa wearing red. Now have a look at that big giant of a man, the new centre-back, number 5, Ensar Bruncevic, the man they call Big Bruno, and he is a brute, 6'4". The battle between him and Boris Kapotovic is going to be absolutely fascinating. Duncan and Shukor Ranyi through the team selections. Erwan Shah, who was a standout in the Community Shield this time last week, he has been rested. When you bear in mind the Stags have a very, very busy schedule, you have to say that's not really a surprise. They've still got to play an incredible 5 games between now and the end of March. As we check out the team lineups confirmation, Erwan Shah is down to the bench. Joel Chu, who's shone for the first hour at the Community Shield, he's back in the starting lineup. And Boris Kapotovic, 6 goals in his first 7 games in a Stag shirt. Can he make it 7 in 8 today? Taufik Sapano, another reminder, he was a scorer in the 3-3 draw between these two teams when they met here in September. As for Balestier Khalsa, well, plenty of new names, and boy, do they need them. But the ones that really stand out, well, you have to say Shuhai Hoshino, who is an absolute standout for Albirex when they won the title, going undefeated in 2018. He scored 18 goals in that title-winning campaign, but the big question is, will he get the same service here playing for Balestier in 2020 that he got when he played for Albirex in 2018? Elsewhere, Sime Zuzul was a big man for Balestier last season. We expect him to come to the fore. He managed to get 9 goals and 9 assists in 2019, and we've already touched on that giant centre-back number 5, Ensar Bruncevic. So, there is Coach Marco, the huddle being led by Captain Zaiful. If there's a nicer man in Singapore football than Marko Krajovic, I'm yet to meet. An absolute gentleman, nothing's too much trouble for him, and you hope, for his sake, that he can rejuvenate Balestier this season. He did have a spell in Malaysia in between that 6-year stint that was briefly interrupted at Balestier Khalsa. And one thing you'll get with Balestier is a standout team spirit, but have they got the manpower to cope with Tampines man for man? They really are a cohesive squad, Tampines, not just a team unit, a squad. We've heard from Gavin Lee. We know they're going to have to rotate. They play Balestier here. On Friday, they go to Brunei to play DPMM, the defending champions, remember. Then Shan United the following Tuesday in the AFC Cup. Then back here the following Sunday to take on New Boys Tanjong Pagar United. And then the game that's going to have people salivating. A date for the diaries already. The 18th of March, Tampines Rovers here at our Tampines hub against the Mega Boys, Lion City Sailors. The big influx of money coming in to the club formerly known as Home United. That's a date for the future in the diary. This is a date for now. The second game of our brand new coverage here in 2020 of the Singapore Premier League. It's Tampines in black, Balestier playing from right to left in the first half, Tampines playing from left to right. And we are just waiting for the referee to get the signal and the clock to tick round to 5:30. He's got the nod. And away we go. And Zuzul straight away. How many times are we going to see Zuzul linking up with Big Bruno? Not the best from Bruno, though. And it immediately brings in Boris, who then gets it to Joel Chu. What a goal it was he scored in the Singapore Cup final last season. And this was the site that we saw Tampines play against Hougang, didn't we? Side to side, then finding the decisive pass through the middle. On that occasion, Mehmedovic just a little bit wasteful as Khalili clears and Tampines close them down to give Balestier a throw deep inside their own territory. Spread the word to your friends and family. Tell them they can watch the Singapore Premier League this season live on Singtel and StarHub, as well as the One Play Sports Network and the Football Association of Singapore Facebook media page. And of course, the beauty about watching it on Facebook is you can leave comments in the boxes below. So if you've got anything to say about the games, if you want to praise or slaughter a player, you're more than welcome to leave those comments underneath. Jordan Webb, who has already been in goal-scoring form this season. A goal in that 3-0 draw against Bali, a goal in the 2-1 win against PSM, and then a goal in the 3-0 win against Hougang. So he scored 3 goals in his last 4 matches. Now into the area they go, twisting and turning. Mehmedovic, he's being chased down by Bruno. Mehmedovic cleverly tries to win the corner, but has to make do with the throw. But Tampines already setting up shop in the Balestier Khalsa final third. Look at Boris and Ensar going at it in the penalty area. And the referee, you didn't see that on the shot there, but the referee wants to word with them straight away. This Bruno versus Boris battle is going to be an ongoing campaign, I fancy, in this match. And our referee wants to get right on top of it, referee Farhad. I can tell you they were playing around and taking selfies like long-lost brothers before the match, these two. But once that whistle goes, it's a different kettle of fish. Now, we're going to see the long throw in effect here, aren't we? It's a real weapon that Tampines employ through Shannon. And great to see Shannon back after that interrupted previous 4 seasons. 2 ACL injuries inside 2 years. He's done incredibly well to battle back. The referee wants to word with him as well, just making sure that he behaves himself. And the referee wants that free kick taken again now. So a rather low-key start, but we said that at Albrecht yesterday, didn't we? And the game exploded to life just before half-time. Now, what's happening here? Marco, this is surreal. Bruno's had to go back to the dressing room. I think there's an issue with his kid. I don't know whether it's a piece of jewellery or he's forgot to put his underpants on. But Bruno's had to go back in the dressing room. So Balestier, for the moment, will play only with 10. Well, that is bizarre. Flick on. Zuzul. Oh, that was really strong defending from Tampines, and they can bring it away with Nakamura. It's wasteful, though. And they're in business here with Hazawan. 10 goals last season for Hazawan, the leading goal scorer for the Tigers. Cross isn't a bad one, but the effort of the shot from the edge of the area wasn't the best from Fadley. Now, Boris. I think he believes he was being held on to there. The referee not interested. Now, just looking out there, Bruno's already back, so I don't know whether he very quickly had to make a costume change, but Bruno already back in action. And this isn't encouraging, is it? We saw plenty of players going to ground throughout the game yesterday in Albrecht's match against Geylang, but this might be a real issue. I think it's the right calf, is it? And the last thing that Tampines want to do here is have to make an enforced change very early on. It's Madhu, I think, that's on the deck. The referee is encouraging him to go and receive his treatment off the field of play. Doesn't look comfortable, does he? But I think he's going to soldier on rather than reduce Tampines to 10, as Bruno did to Balestier moments ago. But he is going to have to go on the pitch, off the pitch to come back on, I believe, as is the procedure. It looks like the treatment is completed, which is at least something. Just under 5 gone then, still Tampines Rovers 0, Balestier Khalsa 0. And both teams feeding their way into this one. We talked a lot yesterday about the fitness levels of Albrechts and Geylang, and it wasn't really a fair assessment in the end to compare them. Oh, that was a bit of a mix-up momentarily for Tampines in defence there, because Geylang played, well, the last half hour with 9 men. But you have to fancy Tampines will be the fitter of these two teams, with this being their already 4th competitive action. I say 4th, it's the 5th really, isn't it? Because they've had 3 in the AFC Cup. They've had the Community Shield and that game against Bali. This could drop for Zuzul. Takes the touch. Zuzul trying to fashion some space. Tampines closing down, but the danger's not completely gone yet. That's a beautiful ball across the face. And the ever comes in from Hazwan. 10 goals last season. That could have been his first this. Shazwan, we had 6 clean sheets last season. Gathers well, but that was an opportunity for Balestier. It wasn't as if Hougang didn't create any chances against them in the Community Shield, but just Tampines had more gears to go through, as Jordan Webb, who's been quiet so far, trying to get away from his man, looking for... Oh, he thinks he's been touched in the face there, and he's gone down, Jordan. Now, is he trying to milk this? We need to see this on replay, because the replay yesterday showed that Fariz was a cast-iron red card. There doesn't appear to be any complaint from any of the Tampines players, which sometimes is a telltale sign. So let's have a look here. Well, you get the impression Jordan's milking that a little bit, don't you? There was a bit of contact, but it wasn't anything violent, was it? And magically, Jordan Webb, having looked like he'd be unconscious for 15 minutes, is now up on his feet and walking away. Gotta love Jordan, a real character, scores goals for fun, but boy, can he have a strop now and then. Remember, red carded in the Community Shield, but I was slightly surprised to hear that that red card in the Community Shield doesn't lead to a ban in league games. It just means if Tampines reach the Community Shield next season, he'll miss that. They are, of course, though, without Yasser Hanapi through suspension, Tampines, from the back end of last season. Now, here we go again. Bruno v Boris, and Bruno coming out on top. That's cleared on over the head of Joel Chu, but Joel Chu will get a second chance here. Nakamura out to Shannon. Nakamura, Joel Chu can fashion the cross here. Joel Chu across the face, the beauty! And Boris gets another! Wow, that was a beautifully worked goal for Tampines, so reminiscent of the goals they scored against Hougang a week ago. Nakamura, Joel Chu, and big Boris linking up. Boris Kaponovic with his 7th goal in 8 games since joining Tampines. 7.5 played. Tampines 1, Balestier Khalsa 0. Now look at this build-up. Balestier caught napping, really. Joel Chu given all the time in the world. The cross, the face of the 6-yard box. I'm not sure Boris finished it cleanly, but he got contact on it. That was all that counted. Managed to stay onside. And Zaiful had no chance. Have a look at it one more time, because it's worth looking at Nakamura finding Joel Chu so casually as well. They gave Joel Chu far too much time. And I think that's come off Boris's right knee, you know. But so similar to the goal he scored against Hougang in the Community Shield. He really is a goal poacher par excellence, Boris Kaponovic. And the Stags lead here early. Zaiful. Well, remember, prior to that goal, it had been Balestier that had the best chance. That was a late challenge from Joel Chu. It will win the free kick for Balestier. Well, since he's lined up in a Stag shirt, I think the only team he's failed to score against, Boris Kaponovic, is Kaya in the AFC Cup in the middle of the week just past. And I suppose you could give him a pass for that, because that was a wonderful, arguably, even though they didn't win that game, on paper. And when you watch the game in the AFC Cup, one of Tampines' best performances of the season. They really should have won and were denied what looked to be a stone-cold penalty. As mentioned, their next game in that AFC Cup is against Shan United. And that comes after they take on Brunei away from home next Saturday. Already that's shaping up to be some clash, isn't it? Because can't help but think Erwin Shah will be back in the mix for that one. Now, having said that, Joel Chu, who's filling in, well, not exactly filling in, but certainly the man that's compensating his absence. Oh, we had to be careful there, Zeifel has picked up an assist for that Boris Kapotovic goal early on. And Joel Chu, we talked about Gavin Lee being a potential surefire Singapore national team manager. Great to see Joel Chu rising through the footballing ranks here so quickly. Madhu. So 10 minutes played here. We'll tell you what the score is as well in the other game going on simultaneously to this. We've had an early goal here at our Tampines hub. And we've had an early goal as well at Jurong West. Hougang lead Young Lions by 1-0. So early goals in both the Singapore Premier League games. With the 5:30 kickoffs. 4 goals yesterday, remember. Looks like it's going to be a goal fest this season in the SPL. Well, that's, I think, knocked Balestier's confidence a little bit, that goal. It was just too easy for Joel Chu, and they've given Akers a space again. Shannon opts against trying to find him on that occasion. Nakamura, I think he's going to be one of the finest. He's not, I call him a holding midfielder. It's a little bit, I think, unfair, as Zazul nearly capitalised on an error from Tampines there, because he's so much more, isn't he? Can anchor the midfield brilliantly, has the work rate to make a difference, but can always find that telling pass. As Shannon now down the right-hand side. Back to Madhu. Well, how many passes is this? I think there was a clip put on the Singapore Premier League website, wasn't there? 13 passes, was it, that led to that goal? Scored by Boris, the second in the 3-0 win against Hougang. There's about 12 there as Jordan Webb goes down again and wins a free kick. Jordan Webb loves playing against Balestier Khalsa. Goals in the last 3 matchups between him and the Tigers. But we saw his bad side, didn't we, in that Community Shield with that nonsense with Anders Aplin. And when you think we've had 1 red card already in the Community Shield, we had 2 in the first game of the season yesterday. We need that average to drop, I think, a little bit. Not the best disciplinary start to the 25th season of professional football in Singapore. I'm sure the administrators will do a job to clamp down on that. Who swung with this hand, I think, Zuzul, briefly. Here's Mehmedovic. Trying to find Jordan Webb, but just a little bit too much petrol on that pass, and it's out for a throw to Balestier. Well, interesting that Hougang already lead the Young Lions by 1-0. There's no shortage of youthful talent in that Young Lions squad. Saw them in pre-season action a couple of weeks back against Tanjong Pagar, but you know, Hougang have got some serious players. I'll be intrigued to know who scored that goal. I'm obviously just getting the score lines through to me here because we talk about Boris Kapotovic for Tampines, and you have to call about Stipe Plazabat for Hougang. Now, here's a free kick and a really promising piece of real estate for Balestier, and it's come out of nothing, really. It's almost a nothing decision. By the way, Stipe Plazabat has scored that goal for Hougang, so Plazabat and Boris, are they going to be battling it out for the Golden Boot? Very, very soft free kick to concede there. Wouldn't say it was unnecessary, but certainly Charul conceding that has given Balestier, you couldn't put the ball in a better position other than on the penalty spot for a dead ball position here. And they've got options over it. Hazawan, 10 goals last season. Zazul leaving it for Hoshino, who we haven't seen much of yet, but Hoshino with his first chance to make a meaningful contribution in a Balestier Khalsa shirt. It will be Hoshino, will it? No, Hazawan wasted against the wall. He was asking for handball there, Hazawan, but he was the only one. And again, you could see Boris give him a little shoulder nudge there, saying don't be so daft. It's out for a corner. Let's just check this. Hazawan was adamant there was a hand involved. Back away from the ball, though, difficult penalty to give. What it has produced, though, is the first corner of the match. A chance for Balestier to create something with another set piece. And this giant Bruno is going to be a real handful from corners this season when you're trying to defend him. Ensar Bruncevic. But Jordan Webb now, can they break at pace, Tampines? Oh, that's a delightful ball from Webb. Very nearly got through. The danger's still there, though, for Tampines coming forward with Amaral. Now inside to Boris Kapotovic. Finds a runner on that far side. And Nakamura just slowing it down again. Thought for a minute they might be in. Sharul to Amaral. Nakamura. Joel Chu over on that far side now, isn't it? That's a tactic that they employ so well, Tampines. They're not frightened to switch the flanks of the players across there instead of Jordan Webb is too close to Zeifel. We saw that in the Community Shield as well. We saw it with Owen and Jordan Webb switching flanks from time to time. I'm sure we'll see that today with Jordan Webb and Joel Chu. But a quarter of an hour played, and it's the Stags leading. That's another free kick conceded by Joel Chu, a little bit of a softie. And again, we said this when Tampines were one up against Howgang, didn't we? You always want to get that second goal to really knock the stuffing out of your opponents. There's plenty of time left in this football match, still 74 minutes and change. Can Balestier fashion something with Hazawan? Yet to see anything from Hoshino so far. Decent cross that hangs up, and the keeper spilled it. Got it at the second attempt, but once more, an example that Brunicevic is going to be a threat coming forward from set pieces. But while he was up there, Jordan Webb is trying to launch a quick counter. He's got Boris Herring up in support. Jordan Webb will win the corner. Did well there, and that's the danger when you send up Brunicevic for those set pieces. If Jordan Webb, Joel Chu and friends decide to break at pace, you can catch out your opponent short-handed at the back as Nakamura trots over to take this free kick. You can see Boris was making the run, and in the end, it was an important intervention. There's in the foreground Faroudin, and in the far ground there you can see Marco, the two assistant coaches and coaches respectively. There's a push in the box there, so that header in from Madhu wouldn't have counted. Zeifel gets plenty of distance on that clearance, and off the head of Zuzul, they'll win another free kick. And again, it's Shannon that's penalised. Great to see him back, Shannon, after that terrible spell with injuries. Imagine rupturing your anterior cruciate ligament twice in the space of 2 years, and to come back. It's wonderful to see Shannon Stephen back in business in the Singapore Premier League. Now, we've hardly seen anything so far from Hoshino, so it's now the time for him to get involved. That was a big question mark for me coming into this game. Will he get the same kind of service from Balestier that he got from Alborex Nagata in 2018 that helped him score 18 goals? Far too early to make a judgment on that. Maybe Hazawan can throw one in there. They've got plenty of height to get on the end of this with Brunicevic, with Zazul, with Hoshino as well. Delivery needs to be good. They go short. I'm not entirely inspired by that shot selection. And that's going to play, it'll be a throw into Tampines. Well, they can't say they've not had enough opportunity here, Balestier, because they've been presented with half a dozen set pieces in dangerous territory from a Tampines point of view. And they've not really worked Shazwan at all. Just that one shot from open play that came in from Hazawan that the Tampines stopper dealt with easily. Over the top, Boris has got goal side here. Boris has got goal side. Can he make it? Two! Just past the post. But Boris Kapotovic with pace to burn left his man for dead. And he'll be disappointed with that. Should really be 2-0 Tampines. Lovely ball over the top. Picked him out brilliantly. His pace and strength with a lovely first touch, but striking it with the left foot with the second wasn't sweet enough. Well, far be it for me to cast aspersions on people's weight, particularly when I'm only looking from up here, but it's been noticeable with a couple of players this season, maybe just finding their time to get to full fitness. And I'm looking out there at Shuhei Hoshino. Doesn't look as trim as I remember him when he was playing for Albirex. He's had that difficult year for the Busan Transport Corporation in Korea, where he left Singapore's shores to try his luck in Korean football. He's back here, but he's not at the moment, very early, through the 20.5 minutes. Look, the same player that was banging them in for Albirex on a regular basis. Now you can see 3 shots apiece, but the only stat that matters is the one in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Now, having said that, great to see Genius Sports working with the Football Association of Singapore. Lovely touch from Shannon, and it's bought the foul, and it's going to bought the first card of the match as well. Or Shannon with a lovely bit of skill, but I think he knew what he was doing there, and Hazawan goes into the book. Let's have a look at this. Hazawan should have telegraphed this a mile away, because Shannon, you could see it was coming, and Hazawan, no need to do that really. And the yellow card is going to put him under a bit of pressure for the remaining 79.5 minutes. I'm giving the game an extra 10 minutes there. It's actually 69.5 minutes, isn't it? Now 68.5. Here's Jordan Webb. Out to Madhu. They've done it again here, haven't they, Tampines? They just mix up their formations. Players seem to switch in and out of positions. It's a fascinating tactic. Get a great view of it up here in the commentary box. You can see Nakamura there temporarily dropping into what was a back 4. As Amaral's given a bit of licence, along with Shahrul and Shannon to get forward. Here's Nakamura. Far too much space they've given him there. And Shannon Stephen. Gets to Madhu. Madhu will find Shannon Stephen. He can drop it back to Joel Chua. Try and get the cross in. Tries to get the cross in. And cleared by Branicevic. That's well won. Really well won back by Shah. Here's Jordan Webb. Jordan Webb, lovely, delightful touch to Shah. The cross comes in. Can drop to Boris again. Well, Boris Kaponovic could have had a hat-trick inside the first 22.5 minutes. No exaggeration. And Balestier far too lackadaisical at the back. Well, that was a better chance than the previous one Boris missed. Really well won by Shah in the middle of the park. Jordan Webb with a delightful little touch. And you can see, off the deflection from Ahmedovich, that's the kind of chance that Boris Kaponovic usually snaps up. Zazul, he's got it away somehow. Hoshino finds Zazul. Hoshino wants it back. Instead, that goes wide to that far side. Can they get the cross in? Yes, they can, but Joel Chu working well with Madhu gets it clear. Better from Balestier, but they still need to put pressure on Shazwan's goal. Zazul. Jordan Webb. Looks to be in the mood today, doesn't he, Jordan Webb? Well, there's no flag here. Play on's the decision. Zazul for Hoshino! Well, Zazul was trying to play it across the face of goal to Hoshino. I wonder, though, whether he got caught in two minds there. It was a little bit too close to the keeper to be a shot. A cross, I should say, and a little bit too far away to be a shot. But the flag stayed down here. There'd have been scream-ups from Tampines that had scored from this, and they really should have done. Just wasn't good enough. But again, the difference between the two sides. A similar chance presents itself to Boris Kaponovic. 8 minutes in, Tampines score, and I don't think they'll get many better chances than that, Balestier Khalsa. If they score, it's going to have to be a more intricate build-up than that. Chance wasted. It remains Tampines 1, Balestier Khalsa 0. Jordan Webb can turn and go here. Gives it, Mehmedovic. Tried to find Boris. He may still be able to. Mehmedovic. Oh, sprays it out wide beautifully. Shah is there. Here's Joel Chu. Oh, look at this play from Tampines. Mehmedovic, Nakamura. They're just passing Balestier to death in these situations. Nakamura. Shirel. Boris trying to turn. Shah. Look at that dink over the top. He's looking for Boris, but Khalili did well. Mentioned the boys talking about Kartik as well, how it's good to see young Kartik Raj getting his opportunity for Balestier. Hasn't had too many touches. He was involved a moment ago in a promising passage of play, but that really is a byproduct of the fact that Tampines have dominated possession here for large parts of this first half. Just looking at the possession stats as they come through. Yeah, about 67% in Tampines' favour possession. Still remains, by the way, Young Lions nil, Howgang 1 in the other SPL game tonight. Here's Jordan Webb down the right-hand side. How much time he's got on the ball. They're terrified to go close to him in case he makes them look silly. Jordan Webb's continuing his run, but instead Shannon switches it out to the left-hand side. Boris and Jordan Webb wait to get on the end of a cross that may come. End up playing it short to Boris. He goes back to Shirel. Amaral to Nakamura. Now with Madhu. It's over the top looking for Boris. Can he keep this one in? I think he can. Well, quick thinking that really, because the best he could do was give Balestier a throw in deep in their own territory rather than cede the goal kick. Here's Shannon. Again, it's almost like halfway through the half, same as in the Community Shield, he encourages Jordan Webb to switch flanks. Remember, when Magumi was still here at Tampines, that was a common tactic, getting the two wingers to switch flanks, and it's something they're continuing with. Now, does Boris Kaponovic think he's been copping wine in the mouth here? He's holding his lip as if he's been given a flat lip. Is there any blood there? Referee done a good job so far in cutting out any potential nonsense between the two teams. There's been a couple of flare-ups, hasn't there? Jordan Webb hit the deck once, but no harm done. And we reconvene the game with Bruno putting his keeper under a bit of pressure there. Zaiful did well to clear it under the circumstances. Monstrous header from Bruno there, finds Hoshino. Hoshino goes down trying to buy a free kick, and that was good refereeing. Never a free kick in a million years. Referee Farhad Mohammed read that one correctly. Madhu. Here's Nakamura, the architect of all the good work that the Tampines midfield has done so far this season. Along with Mehmedovic, they're forming very quickly an impressive partnership, and it's a bit strong to say they're not missing Shardhan Suleiman, but sure at some point this season they'll wish they had him in his ranks as he starts a new career with the Lion City Sailors, the artist formerly known as Home United. But Nakamura is proving to be an inspired signing so far. They take the free kick quickly. Mehmedovic just bossing possession, aren't they, Tampines? They're really pushing Balestier around the pitch with their crisp passing. That could take its toll fitness-wise in the second half. Oh, what a touch from Jordan Webb. The flag is up here. Referee eventually sees. Now I want to see this. Jordan Webb can't believe it. He's got his head in his hands. Was he right, or was this another one of Jordan Webb's false modesty? Yeah, no, Jordan Webb was incorrect. He was offside. It was a good decision by the assistant referee. Credit to them. Two assistant referees today, Mr. Manoj Kulwani and Mr. Tang Min Kai, our fourth official, Chang Kwek Wei. Flicked on by Zuzul. Yeah, disappointing so far, Hoshino. They really need that strike partnership to click, don't they, between Zazul and Hoshino, you fancy, to be a real threat this season. Well chested from Amaral. Hoshino, that's better. Flag stays down. Can they get it across? They had the option of winning a corner there, and then Jordan Webb gets in a tangle, and the Balestier man falls down in the box, but nothing doing. But they are showing signs, Balestier, they're capable. They've not been completely overrun in this game. They've created more in the first half an hour against Tampines than Geylang did against Albirex yesterday. Cross comes in, that's a dangerous glancing header clearance, and it only comes to the edge of the box. And again, Hazzawan with his second shot from almost an identical position, and both times he's not worked Shazwan hard enough. But the chances are there for Balestier. They need to take them, though. They've got to put Tampines under some pressure, because if Tampines get 2 in front, I really can't see a way back for the Tigers in this. Although, having said that, remember, a 6-goal thriller the last time the teams met here back in September. 3-3 draw. But the record overall for Balestier against Tampines is shocking. They've played 31, Tampines have won 23, Balestier have won just 3 times with 5 draws. And you have to go back to 2013 for that Balestier win. It was a 4-3 win at Trois Pau Stadium. Here's another chance for the Stags from an acute angle. Wide of the mark, but look at the numbers they had forward there. Joel Chu and Boris both herring through, and Nakamura, who himself is never afraid to pull the trigger, might be a little bit disappointed with this on reflection. Lovely play from Jordan Webb. And again, look at Boris and Bruno tangling up. Don't be surprised if there's a penalty appeal or a penalty incident between Bruno and Boris before this game is up. Did have the option of playing it back to Joel Chu, but I think you've got to give Nakamura the benefit there that he was entitled to go for goal himself. Well, one in the air from Zazul. Flicked on by Hoshino. Just confirming. Another shot comes in. Now, I may have missed this. I'm being told there are 4 yellow cards being shown in this game. I've only got 1 down for Hazzawan, but our official statistics say there are 4. See if we can get those players that have been yellow carded. I got Hazzawan down as a yellow, not the others, but we'll check that for you. Meanwhile, Jordan Webb, we're enjoying our new Genius stats this season, live in the Singapore Premier League, coming to you on Singtel StarHub, the One Play Sports Network, and the Football Association of Singapore's social media channels. We had an early goal here that's given Tampines the advantage as the man back from injury, Shannon Stephen, really battles hard and eventually wins the throw, much to the disgust of Balestier. And we know he's got that long throw in his locker, Shannon Stephen. Is he going to employ it here and look for Boris? Doesn't take the run up, still gets plenty of distance on it though, gets it to Madhu. They're so good at switching sides here, Tampines. Here's Shirel, Jordan Webb. Jordan Webb explodes into a bit of pace, but a heavy touch let him down, and Zazul brings it away. And Zazul does really well, and here's a chase for Hoshino. And Amaral has a slip and does really well to recover while on the deck, because Hoshino was lurking, and already there's frustration between Zazul and Hoshino. That's a strike partnership, and it's very early stages here, 33 minutes into the season, that really does need to click. And you wonder whether just 1 goal from either of them, particularly if it's assisted by the other, would set that partnership on fire. The ability's there for all to see, but it's working as a team in the same way that we've seen already this season Jordan Webb and Boris Kaponovic work together. Here's Madhu out to Shannon Stephen. Mehmedovic. Oh, good vision for the midfield maestro. Jordan Webb's got all the time and space in the world here, and look at the change of pace he sometimes employs. The cross comes in. Bruno with a strong header clear. Well, Brunosevic, I don't think he could have done too much about the goal Tampines scored. He is going to be a centre-forward's nightmare for anyone who's not in the same league as Boris Kapotovic this season, I'm sure it's going to be a real difficult man to master. Nice work from Shirel. Joel Chu. Cross it goes. Shannon's lurking here. Shannon's lurking! And he'll win the corner. And credit, I think you've got to give to Zyful there, because he realised he couldn't claim it and he set his body to get in the way of any shot come cross that came in from Shannon, and he did enough. So it'll be another corner to Tampines as we approach the final 10 minutes of this first half. Mehmedovic to take. Mehmedovic takes it short to Joel Chu. Joel Chu with the cross. He's already crossed for one goal today. Not this time, though. I can tell you Howgang have doubled their lead at Geelong West. It's now Young Lions 0, Howgang 2. So already this season is one game in less than 2 halves old, and we've had 7 goals already. Here's Shannon. Oh, a bit too much on that, and Bruno can get there, but he's only knocked it as far as Nakamura. Shah helps get it back to Nakamura. Now Mehmedovic. Here's Jordan Webb. Jordan Webb to Joel Chu. Joel Chu sets himself, looks to get Jordan Webb on the return. That could drop anywhere, and it might still come to a black shirt. It does. To the byline, trying to cross it for Boris, and Balestier can do nothing but clear it out for a corner. Out to the edge of the box. Shannon again could head this across the face of goal. Zazul gets it clear only as far as Joel Chu. Here's Shah. And now a chance he's going to be offside here, I fancy. But the flag stays down because he left it sensibly for Zazul. Well, Hoshino was offside there and sensibly left it for Zazul. And that, again, is a chance they've created. They've not been able to finish. And an example of a slight lack of understanding between the two there. It was that moment's hesitation that cost them. If he'd have touched this Hoshino, the assistant referee was going to put his flag up. He left it cleverly for Zazul. And all the credit in the world to Shazwan, who did well. Jordan Vestering has doubled Howgang's lead there at Geelong East. It's going to be a long afternoon, you fancy, for the Young Lions. Six and a half to play to the break. Clearance from Shazwan looking for Jordan Webb. Here's Joel Chu. Well won initially from Balestier, but they cough up possession again. And now there's some space for Mehmedovic to run into. Balestier with enough numbers back on this occasion. And now they try and find Zazul with a flick on. Nakamura. Here's Joel Chu. Joel Chu with the drive. Try to cheekily find Boris with the outside of his left foot, but wasn't able to on this occasion. And Zazul showing great strength, just getting the ball lost under his feet momentarily, and it's given Tampines a chance to clear. Here comes Jordan Webb on the turn. Mehmedovic looking for Boris again. This is going to be a big chase for Boris. Very narrow angle, and he can't keep it in. That's out for a goal kick. So just conferring with our panel up here, and I believe that the yellow cards, one been shown to Shannon Stephen, one to Hazwan. So always worth keeping an eye on that, particularly bearing in mind what we've already seen this season. The red card in the Community Shield, 2 yesterday for Geylang. Hopefully we don't see any more, as Hazwan, who's one of those players on a yellow, goes down the left-hand side. Oh, he's crowded out of it. Madhu teaming up well with Shannon. And then the ultimate clearance, unfortunately, undid all that good work because it's given them a free throw in the final third. So, can they produce something special from a throw? It's going to be Faisal. Haven't seen much from Faisal yet, but is he going to give Shannon Stephen a taste of his own medicine with a long throw to try and find the giant figures? And again, look, even for the long throws, they're committing Brunesevic forward for these. They've got at least 3 players capable of getting there, and they'll win a corner. Just their second corner of the game, the 4th in total. And this would be a beautiful time to level things up. So over to take it is Hazwan. They've got tall men aplenty here. Zazul, Brunesevic and Hoshino. Tampines have dominated for the most part, but they've also ridden their luck. Can the Tigers level this up right on half-time? Decent delivery. Shazwan got a punch to it. It wasn't altogether convincing, but did enough. A reminder, don't go anywhere at half-time, because we've got a half-time show with Duncan Elias, Jukul Zailan, and of course Barbara Latimer out and about getting all the half-time reaction. We'll do the same at full-time as well. Hope you're enjoying this opening weekend of action in the Singapore Premier League, live on the One Play Sports Network, Singtel Star Hub, and of course the Football Association of Singapore social media channels. We'll be bringing you live games on Singtel and Star Hub all through the season. Every game you'll be able to watch live somewhere for the first time ever in Singapore football history, as we celebrate 25 years of professional football in Singapore. And oh, how Tampines would like to celebrate that with their first title since 2013. At the moment, they're on their way to the first 3 points of the season. He was offside there, and he knew it. They're just not timing it right in the final third, Balestier. There's promise for them there. Marko Krajovic will be encouraged by some of the build-up play he's been seeing, but it's just they're lacking that match sharpness that Tampines' previous 5 games have clearly given them. Remember that game against Bali in the AFC Champions League qualifier. They're 3 games so far in the group stage of the Champions League and of the AFC Cup, I should say, and that Community Shield match as well. Over the top, looking for Joel Chu, it's cut out. And here, Balestier with another chance to break. Zuzul makes a good run. Can he get the better of Madhu? Tried his hardest, but Madhu stood up well to the imposing figure. And he is an imposing figure, Sime Zuzul. But I tell you what, I wouldn't rule Balestier out of this game just yet. They're creeping their way back into it, and crucially, Boris Kaponovic, who could have got a hat-trick, has only converted 1 chance so far. And it would be churlish to write off Shuhei Hoshino after just 43.5 minutes of the season, because we saw 2 years ago that he tore it up for Albirex. Another long throw. They get the flick on Balestier to the edge of the area. Comes out. Oh, the shot is scuffed. Thought it might fall for Zuzul there, but it fell to Jordan Webb, who's gone down again. The referee's not seen it, but I think he's given it now. Jordan Webb involved in a little bit of a tangle. Hazwan, I think it is, that can't believe that decision. There he was battling with Big Bruno. Can we have a Big Bruno and a Big Boris, or do I need to come up with another nickname for Bruno? They can't both be big, can they? Big Boris and Bruno the Bull, I think we'll call him. He concedes a free kick for the foul on Jordan Webb, and that's helped Tampines alleviate the pressure as we approach the final 35 seconds of normal time at the end of this first half. Here's Joel Chu, who's cross-created the goal that's given Tampines what looks to be a telling half-time lead. I can tell you Howgang United now lead the Young Lions by 3 goals to 0. A Stipe Plazabat penalty just before half-time, so that's 2 for Plazabat as Howgang are running riot against the Young Lions over at Geelong West. Meanwhile, Tampines with a slender lead here, and Balestier have shown enough to suggest they're not out of this. There'll be just 1 minute added on at the end of this first half. And this game is still finally poised for me going into the second stanza. Remember, will Balestier not have the fitness to last the 90 minutes, this being their first competitive game of the campaign? Or conversely, have Tampines been playing too much football this season with this incredibly busy spell of something like 7 games in 21 days? They've got 5 games to play in March. We're only on March the 1st, and this is the first of them. So, fascinating conundrum awaits us in this second half here of this Singapore Premier League game at our Tampines hub. Jordan Webb trying to get a trick out the locker. Beats 1, beats 2. Jordan Webb beats 3, and will win the free kick as Zuzul brings him down. Well, this is the thing. Jordan Webb's so good at this, isn't he? He's just going to win free kicks for fun all through the season with those jinking runs. And could well become Singapore's first Academy Award winner as well at some point this season, the way he goes down and plays around. Clutching his left foot there. Needs to hurry up, otherwise they won't get enough time to make something happen from this free kick. I think he's going to have to go off the field. Is he? No, he can stay on the field because the physio didn't have to come on. Now, Mehmedovic is over this. It's a mile out. They take it quickly, though. Try to catch Balestier asleep. Shannon Stevens' header goes all the way through to Zaiful, and that will probably be that for a first half that Tampines dominated for the most. But, crucially, Balestier started to fight their way back into it. It was that goal after 8 minutes through Boris Kaponovic after great work from Nakamura and a wonderful cross from Joel Chu that is the difference between the sides. But Balestier has showed plenty of aptitude themselves coming forward, and if for better finishing, Hazwan had 2 chances to level it up, and also Zazul and Hoshino combined once when they really should have got Balestier on the score sheet. There are the stats going in to the end of the first half. Stay tuned for Duncan Elias and Shukul with their halftime show, and we'll be back with them and Barbara before the second half begins live on the One Play Sports Network, Stingtail, StarHub and the FAS social media channels. At the break, it's Tampines Rovers 1, Balestier Khalsa 0.
2.
Testing,
Testing.
1, 2.
Hello, hello, 1.
Test, test, test.
One 0 to Tampines Rovers at the break. Shuko, they started really brightly. Balestier did come into it in the latter stage of the first half, but well-deserved lead for the Stags in the first half.
Yes, it's a well-deserved lead. Unexpectedly, they score a goal early in the game. They've been playing well. You can see how dominating they are, making a lot of small passes, a lot of movement of the ball, and they make use of the width of the pitch. Stephen Shannon and Jordan Webb pulling right all the way to the side.
It did seem that Tampines Rovers, do have a couple of gears to go later on in the half, but they've been playing very well at second gear, some would say.
Yeah, I agree. You can see the pace and the intensity of the game is not that high. But yes, the best is yet to come. I hope second half, 2 more goals come in and more intensity, because you can see there's a little bit of complacency at the back just now, made few mistakes that can result in a goal. So I hope they'll be more careful about that.
It'll be interesting to see the stats of the game. I'm sure possession-wise, Tampines definitely bossing the game. More shots as well than Balestier Khalsa. Or not, Balestier with 7 shots to Tampines Rovers 6. A bit wrong with that one, but a bit strange, don't you think, of the stats? 50% possession. I thought Tampines Rovers really had a lot of the game.
Yeah, I thought so too, because you can see Tampines has been dominating in the midfield and in the back line. And yeah, I think the stats might be wrong.
Oh, lies and damn statistics. Let's have a look at the highlights. And I think it started with Hazwan Hale with a shot on goal after 6 minutes. Did test Shazwan Buhari. They didn't really have a clear-cut chance. Tampines Rovers, as we see them walking out here. And it did start really slow. I think we're looking at the goal here straight away. Joel Chu, what a ball this is. Perhaps the ball of the season so far. You can't touch that. That is the corridor of uncertainty. And Boris Kopetovic, 7 goals, 7 games.
This is definitely a dangerous cross, because it's in between the defenders and the goalkeeper. It's very dangerous. It's
Nothing Khalili Khalif could do with that. But Joel Chu included today in the absence of Yassi Hanapi, already doing the business with a great ball. And there's another chance. Kopetovic just on the shoulder of Khalili, dragged his shot a little wide, but they were knocking on the door here, Tampines.
Yeah, good positioning. Like I said, Boris has been getting into good position, target man, good technique, but not a good finish.
Obviously, he's not playing on the shoulder of Bruncevic. He's looking for Khalili and, of course, Ahmad Shah here. And this is a chance for, I think, Tampines here. Oh no, this was Zuzul who just caught, I think, Shahrul Sazali in possession. A cross-come shot. Hoshino just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Was it a cross, was it a shot?
I believe it was a cross, but this is what I was saying earlier on, the complacency. They are having possession, but they lose possession, and this might result in a goal. Luckily for them, it didn't go in the goal.
Balestier Khalsa having the chances as well, but Tampines in attack here. Jordan setting up Nakamura. I think he went for goal here. Was he better served to perhaps find Joel Chu in the middle there?
Yeah, I think it's better to cross in the goal in the box, because there's already numbers in there, about 3 players waiting for his cross. And again, it's a low cross, might be a goal.
Yeah, Joel Chu just hanging at the penalty spot there. But Nakamura confident in his ability. And this was a big chance here. Sime Zuzul beating the offside trap. Not the best first touch in the world, but good save by Shazwan.
Good save, definitely good save. Unlucky for him to not finish it to a goal. But yeah, it's a good save by Shazwan.
That was a massive chance. Hoshino was offside, but Zuzul making the run from deep, not being tracked by Shannon Stephen. Again, great save by Shazwan.
It's a good call by the referee again. They let the game play a little bit more seconds. But yeah, they couldn't convert it to a goal.
But that's great stuff there. Tampines Rovers in the lead by 1-0 over Balestier Khalsa at the break. And the Tampines Rovers fans, the Yellow Knights, definitely really pleased with the first half performance by the Stags. And Barbara Latimer is with them for their thoughts on the match so far.
All right. It is the Hyundai Halftime Challenge. Now, right here at our Tampines Hub, we do this really fun thing. We bring you, the fans, right here onto this page for a chance to win exclusive season merchandise. Now we have 5 contenders. Now we're going to bring them up, we're going to find out who they are.
Even though we
Gentlemen,
don't
boys,
I think
come
we
forward.
should score more.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Now,
So,
going forward into this season, who's your favorite player? Who are you looking out for?
Actually, everyone is our favorite. We support everybody. Yeah.
Okay, and obviously we've seen that Boris has scored the first goal for today, and he's gotten 7 goals in 7 games. What's your take on all of that?
Well, we foresee he will score more. A lot more.
I guess he'll score more. I presume about 20 goals this season. Yeah, because we have always lack of a striker since Amri left. And I feel that Boris is the natural replacement to come in to score the goals, to do the job. So I presume 20 for this season for Boris. That's my take.
20 goals for Boris. What about any other players on the team? How are we sussing out the vibe of the team this season?
So what's the question again?
How's the vibe of the team going so far in the season?
I think they are good. The teams are bonding well. All the new players coming in, they are really bonding well with each other. So I foresee, I think this is important when it comes to winning the league. So I presume Tampines will do well with such a good bond, and obviously having such a player like Boris up front scoring the goals for us. Yeah.
So, I think after winning title after so long last season, we go in fresh with positive signing in Boris. As this is just the first game, but he's already scored quite a amount of goals already. It's testament to his skills, and we look forward to what the team has to offer. And we are it's been very good so far. It's been magnificent, and not only locally, but I'm sure they're going to do well this season on a continental basis as well.
All right, well done. Well, we're looking forward to a very exciting second half, I think. The second half is coming up soon.
What's your name? Ilhan. All right, Ilhan. He's getting serious. He's taking off the slippers.
Hey, thanks so much. Good job.
Welcome back live to our Tampines Hub. You're watching live coverage of the 2020 Singapore Premier League, live on Singtel, StarHub, the One Play Sports Network and the Football Association of Singapore's social media channels. At the break here, Tampines leading by that 8th minute Boris Kaponovic goal, 2-0. But signs from the Tigers, Balestier Khalsa, that they have got the ability to get back into this game. Tampines will want to try and kill it off early in this second half. Elsewhere, as we mentioned, we kept you up to date through the first 45 minutes here of what was happening at Jurong West, and it's a dream start for Hougang this season and a nightmare for the Young Lions. Hougang, who were beaten 3-0 in the Community Shield, remember, and were beaten also midweek in the AFC Cup by 3-2, are 3-0 up away from home at the Young Lions. A brace for Stipe A. Plazabat, including one for the penalty spot at either side of a Jordan Restering goal. So Hougang looking booked for 3 points. You can't really with confidence ink Tampines' 3 points in the book here just yet, as some real fun and games are going on the pitch with the half-time show. I can see both sets of substitutes warming up very intently. I just wonder, you know, whether we'll see Zulfaimi Zuliman, the former Stags man who scored that incredible goal here 2 seasons ago, a goal of the season in Tampines' loss in that incredible 4-3 defeat to Albirex. I wonder whether we'll see him introduced as potentially a difference maker for Balestier Khalsa. Well, the half-time festivities are almost done and dusted. The players are making their way back out onto the pitch. Don't think there's any changes. I'm sure Marko Krajovic, that had been part of that first 45 minutes, he would have liked. Obviously, you don't want to concede early, but bearing in mind they're not as battle-hard in this season as Tampines with the football they've been playing, if they can just start to click a bit better, Zuzou and Hoshino, I think they really will be a handful up front. Just got to try and make that happen. It's so funny, isn't it, with strike partnerships? It doesn't really matter how strong both players are. It's just about that chemistry you can create. And when you throw them together, other than a bit of coach's intuition, you can't be certain whether it's going to work out or not. So it would appear that the two teams will be unchanged at the start of the second 45 minutes. Remember, we had 3 substitutions at half-time yesterday in the game between Albirex and Geylang. 2 for Geylang and 1 for Albirex. But the coach is satisfied with the 11s they started the game with to start the second half. Tampines' famed team spirit, standing them in good stead so far. But Balestier Khalsa, marshalled by their skipper between the sticks, Zeifel, will be confident. And with the size they've got, you know, I'm going to make a bold call here. I don't think Balestier Khalsa are going to finish anywhere near bottom this season. They are going to give teams problems, particularly when they're more acclimatised. Even physically, look at the lovely contrast they've got. They've got the Giants, they've got Bruno the Bull at the back, and they've got Zuzou, who's a real handful. Hoshino is a big guy as well, and contrast that with the silky skills of the likes of Hazwan and Kartik, who you saw there. They're a nice contrast for me. As we get the second half underway, it'll be Tampines in the black playing from right to left, and the Balestier in the red playing from left to right. Also, to update you, a reminder from that first half, we had a little bit of confusion, didn't we, about who'd been shown yellow cards and who hadn't. But it's my understanding that Shannon was carded and Hazwan, one from each team. Pace was a little bit slow at times, wasn't it, in that first 45? And that will suit Tampines with the busy schedule they're facing. This is the first of 5 games for them in March. Early chat on the tide lines from Gavin Lee to Jordan Webb. Here's Madhu. Amaral cleverly misses out Sharul to get it to Jordan Webb, who's been a real handful. Oh, and there's a hand to the face, was it, of Kartik. Right under the nose of the 4th official there, and the referee's taking advice on what's gone on here. Now, what's he going to do? The card's coming out here. Well, Jordan Webb sends off at the Community Shield. He's going to have to now walk a tightrope for 44 minutes of the second half. He's going to get a yellow at least here, I think. There's protests from Farudin and Gavin Lee and all the Tampines bench where it happened right in front of. He's pleading his innocence, Jordan Webb. When he hangs up his boots, Jordan Webb, I think he's good for a role in one of those Channel 8 dramas because he's a brilliant actor. But I think he may be a bit unlucky here, to be credit to give him some credit. Let's have a look. Well, he was a little bit aggressive, wasn't he? But I don't think he did too much wrong. It's leading to a massive debate, though. And he's already been shown the yellow card, so he'd be advised here to probably walk away and not say anything silly, because the elbow definitely looked like it might have been out. But remember, in the second half against Tagging and that Community Shield, he messed around and was walking a tightrope, and he was rightly sent off. Gavin Lee in discussion with our referee, Farudin Mustafic, who's had a good game so far, Farudin. And now, well, this has led to a 2-minute delay in the second half. Only played about a minute of the half so far. Now, what they're going to do here, it's free kick, surely has been given here, isn't it? Or are they going to restart with the throw that Tampines won? But if they restart with the throw, the yellow card's a mockery. It's got to be a free kick to Balestier. And it's going to be a free kick to Balestier. Well, that's just ridiculous. How on earth can they show Jordan Webb a yellow card and give the throw-in to Tampines? It's extraordinary. And now Joe Chu is down. It started to get a bit fruity. Oh, we've seen far too much of this in the opening weekend of the Singapore Premier League. Joel Chu is down like a sack of spuds. He looks in genuine discomfort. Now, what's the referee going to do here? He's sensibly buying himself some time. I can't wait to see the replay here. He's calling the guilty player across. I think the longer the referee takes it, the more likely it is just going to be a yellow or a talking to. But Joel Chu in some discomfort. Nakamura is not happy. He's bringing across Hazwan. Now, Hazwan's on a yellow, remember. Hazwan has already been booked here. Now, Hazwan's on a yellow, and the referee, I think, maybe sensibly, because the game could have been spoiled as a contest there, decides no further action. And Joel Chu, he went down hard here, and it wasn't... Well, it was Hazwan again, wasn't it? Well, it's getting nasty. Jordan Webb, meanwhile, as we rejoin the live action, beats his man. Jordan Webb, great skills from the Canadian. Jordan Webb, what an improved player he is as he entered his 30s. He's been quiet for a couple of seasons in Singapore, Jordan Webb. But 15 goals last season, no fluke. He's going to be a main threat again. Nakamura. Oh, that's really strong defensive work from Balestier. And now the run could be on for Zazul. Zazul's got one man to beat. He's got support herring up as well. Can Zazul level it up? Oh, what an opportunity. A great defending from Shannon. And he wins the free kick. What a chance that was for Balestier Khalsa on the break. I think it was Kartik herring up, was it, in support? Zazul, such a powerful runner. Now, was that Hazwan or Kartik herring up in support? It was Hazwan, wasn't it? Just couldn't get there. And great defensive work from Shannon. And it had to be, because it would have been a penalty. And remember, he's on a yellow card as well. That was real close to being a penalty and a certain red for Tampines. Well, free kick goes the way of Tampines. It's just getting a little bit niggly out there. They've got to be careful. Really don't want to see any more red cards this weekend. And it's just becoming a little bit unpleasant. Back underway at Jurong West, by the way, where Hougang still lead Young Lions by 3-0. Here is Zazul. Oh, the throwing goes the way of Tampines. Jordan Webb will take it. Played himself into a bit of trouble there. Do well to clear the lines eventually. Big Bruno was alive to that clearance, and now Balestier can enjoy their first meaningful possession, really. Hoshino, what a dink that is from Hoshino! Oh, they've blown that big time. That was a golden opportunity created by Shuhei Hoshino. The anticipation just wasn't there, and Hazwan will be disappointed. It was absolutely exquisitely weighted, this Hoshino. And look at Hazwan, just couldn't claim it, and credit, I suppose, to Shazwan as well. But what a ball from Shuhei Hoshino that is. Another free kick. It's getting very stop-start now. Well, they had at least half a dozen set-piece opportunities here in this area of the field in the first half, Balestier, and couldn't make them count. They've got to start working Shazwan a little bit harder. Hazwan to deliver. The big men are up. Big Bruno, Zuzul, Hoshino. Hazwan's delivery is good, but Jordan Webb is the only man to head it, and there was no red shirt pressurising him. I'm not sure what that improvised loft into the box is from Ahmed. And now Tampines can try and launch a counter of their own. Oh, he's gone back to his keeper there, put him under a bit of pressure as Khalili. Amaral getting very scrappy now. Faisal trying to bring in Zuzul. Zuzul driving through the middle. Runners ahead of him. Zuzul pulls the trigger from a mile out. Always rising, and it goes over the bar. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to have a repeat of that 3-all thriller these teams played out when they were last here together in September. And as it stands, Balestier are going to have to wait even longer. 7 years, I think it is, since they last beat Tampines. 4-3 game in Topayo Stadium. Played at our Tampines Hub 4 times. Balestier. And no win in those 4 visits. Another free kick, and again Jordan Webb's angry. He's got to be careful. This was exactly the kind of petulance that ended up getting Jordan Webb sent off against Howgang at Chalan Bassar in the Community Shield last week. To be so careful, and I wonder as well if they could get a second or third goal. I wouldn't be surprised if Gavin Lee takes them off, you know, to wrap them up in cotton wool, because with all the fixtures they got coming up, the last thing you want is Jordan Webb being suspended for the game against Brunei, in Brunei on Saturday, the defending champions. Hazwan again. Line being held at the edge of the area. Hazwan's delivery, lofted in, too much on it, I think. Oh, in the end, Jordan Webb, safety first, heads it out for a corner, so I did Hazwan a disservice there. He has won the corner, which is Balestier Khalsa's third of the game. Can't keep giving away these set-piece opportunities, not when you've got Big Bruno in the box. Big Bruno's up for it! Over the bar. Well, it's a safe wager that Brunosevic is going to score from a corner this season. He's such a presence. That time, though, just couldn't stop the header from rising over the bar of Shazwan, who was beaten. I'm not a fan of this playing it out from goal kicks. We saw this from Geylang yesterday, and it was an utter disaster. I don't think we've got strong enough teams here to be messing around from goal kicks, playing it out from the back. It's a dangerous tactic for mine. Oh, here's a chance, overhead kick. What a spectacular equaliser that would have been. And it all came from Tampines Rovers messing around, playing it out from the back from a goal kick. And it very nearly led to a spectacular equaliser from Faisal. Jordan Webb, meanwhile, tries to find Mehmedovic, who does really well. Nakamura could pounce on this. And Joel Chu goes down and wins a free kick. Shairul. Mehmedovic. Out wide, looking for Shannon, who finds him. Shannon, of course, coming back from those 2 long injury absences. I wonder if he'll last the 90 minutes today. Nakamura. Delightful dink through, just too much on it for Joel Chu, and gathered by Zeifel. there's Zuzul barreling his way through. Hoshino! Oh, he's got the penalty, has he? Yes! My, oh my! Well, they can't say it hasn't been coming, Tampines. With a 1-goal advantage, they flirted with danger one time too many. And the 2018 top scorer in the Singapore Premier League, Suhei Hoshino, has won the penalty that's going to give Balestier the chance to level this up with over half an hour to play. And you can see that Suhei Hoshino's grabbed the ball. Never mind Zuzul, he wants to take it himself. Well, he showed great perseverance here, Hoshino. And there was definitely arms around him. They can have no complaints. It's a cast iron penalty all day long. Shah concedes it. The big question now, with some assistance on the concession from Amaral. The big question. Suhei Hoshino, 18 goals in 2018 when Albirex were unbeaten champions. It didn't work out for him in South Korea last season, playing for the Busan Transport Corporation. But he could really light up the final half hour here at OTH if he can get this penalty kick by Shazwan. Suhei Hoshino, he's been away for a year. Is normal service about to be resumed? Is he going to score his first goal of the season? Hoshino! Oh, he's missed it! What on earth happened there? Well, we talked all the way through the first half how Suhei Hoshino just needed something to break for him to get his confidence back. And you have to say, well, let's have a look at this penalty. It's come off the keeper, I think. I thought initially it hit the post, but as the keeper saved it with the back of his legs. He has, hasn't he? What a save that is from Shazwan. And it's still 1-0 Stags, but Balestier have the corner. And that's much easier for Shazwan. Well, there's an early contender for save of the season. He guessed the right way and managed to contact the ball with the back of his legs. And Suhei Hoshino is denied. And Balestier, given a gift opportunity to level it up, have spurned it. Now, I wonder if we'll see more urgency from Tampines to get the second, or whether that near miss will spark Balestier into action. Well, it looks like it's the latter. And there's another shout for a free kick there that's not given. They're furious at Balestier, but Jordan Webb will attempt to play on. Here's Mehmedovic. He's been quiet today, Mehmedovic. And that ball's not good enough. And over the top, looking for Zuzul. Hoshino beaten to it very well by Nakamura. But they're up for this now, Balestier. They're showing plenty of fight. And that's a challenge, a late one on Nakamura, that I think is going to lead to another card. The players are all rushing in here. Well, it's not nice. I think Arish could be in a bit of bother here. Arish is shown the yellow card, and the yellows are starting to mount up in this one as well. Gavin Lee's out of his technical area. It happened this incident in front of the Balestier bench. Now, it's another yellow to Tampines, this time for Shah. So now we've got Shannon on a yellow, Shah on a yellow, Jordan Webb on a yellow, Arish on a yellow, Hazwan on a yellow. And is he showing a yellow to Kartik as well? I think he is, isn't he? Change is coming here. As we look at that challenge that led to that latest melee. Joel Chu, as has been the tactic of Gavin Lee, has lasted about an hour. He is replaced by Aziz. Well, this game is still finely balanced, isn't it? Tampines came into it as red-hot favourites, but you wouldn't want to be putting the mortgage on them seeing this out the way things are going. Big question for me is how Balestier's fitness holds out in the last half an hour. Young Lions have pulled one back against Hougang United. Young Lions 1, Hougang United 3 in the other game tonight in the Singapore Premier League. Well, this is becoming really stop-start now, this matchup, isn't it? Jordan Webb, can he control this? They should have done better there, really. Oh, and that was a wild kick at the ball that could have ended up a little bit nastily. No harm done. Well, Balestier are being competitive here, and it's already an improvement, win, lose or draw, from some of their performances last season. It's not quite clicked, has it, so far for Zazul and Hoshino, but they are going to be a threat, and Bruno Brunicevic at the back is going to be really useful for them. But just need some more signs for me that this Hoshino and Zazul pairing is a partnership rather than just two strikers ploughing a lone furrow for themselves throughout the season. That very rarely works out well. Minju, here's a man who's hardly touched the ball in the second half. Boris Kapotovic, 7 goals in 8 games though since he joined Tampines. He's already on the score sheet. It's his goal that's the difference maker at the minute. He's now saying that I think he's been hit in the face as Ensar Bruncevic goes over to console him. Oh, there's a bit of tugging and pushing in the penalty area there, and if they won the corner, they have. Well, Boris Kapotovic, really strong work to win the corner. Well, the corner count, 4 corners apiece in this game so far. Neither team has managed to make one count so far. That delivery's good, and the header is up there from Shannon Stephen. But Zeifel, that's it, run out for a goal kick. I wonder if a Balestier change is on the way shortly. Looking at their bench, they've got to surely give Zulfami Suleiman a run out here to prove Tampines wrong. It's one of the fondest memories I've got in Singapore football, that screamer he scored against Alberix 2 seasons ago here. Imagine if you could do it now wearing the red of Balestier. Here they come again, Balestier to the edge of the area. Lovely back flick, finish! Oh, has he got a touch on that for Hoshino? He has. Suhei Hoshino, having seen a penalty saved by Shazwan, has now seen a glorious opportunity go a-begging as well. Beautiful build-up play this. Lovely work. And the keepers kept Tampines in front again. So this one will edge Balestier Khalsa in front on the corner count. Keeper comes. Oh, he's just about managed to hold on to it. But Shazwan at the moment is building himself up to a man-of-the-match performance. And who'd have thought that at half-time, when Tampines arguably should have been the team that are more than a goal in front. Now they're desperately trying to hold on. That one just past Shuhei Hoshino. I think with game time under their belt, this Balestier side are going to be half useful, you know. They've got plenty of talent out there. Here's Aziz. First time we've seen him since he came off the bench. The ex-Geylang, Haogang and Balestier man himself, Aziz. Malika Wab's nephew. And he, along with all that Tampines Rovers squad, are going to get plenty of playing time. They're going to have to rotate throughout the season, certainly the first half of the season. They've got the ASEAN Club Championship to come as well, and they've got strong chances of qualifying out of the AFC Cup group stage, where they remain unbeaten. Jordan Webb, first touch, not as good as the second. He's gone down again, trying to win a cheap free kick. He's a master at it, and they take it quickly to Nakamura. Aziz, another challenge comes sliding in. Here's Shah. Shannon, looking for Boris again. They've managed to clear it, and Suhei Hoshino. And Shah wins it back for Tampines. 23 minutes and change to go here. It remains Tampines Rovers 1, Balestier Khalsa 0. But Balestier, if you're just joining us, moments ago missing a penalty, and then the man that missed that penalty having won it, Shuhei Hoshino, with a glorious opportunity, brilliantly saved by Shazwan. Tampines have hardly done anything going forward in this second half. I think the next goal here is going to be absolutely pivotal. If Tampines get it, I think that'll take the wind finally out of Balestier's sails. If Balestier can get it, there's enough time here if Tampines tie it. But here they come with Jordan Webb and Boris. Jordan Webb ducks inside. Jordan Webb! Just over the bar. What a handful the pair of those Tampines strikers are. Jordan Webb, the mean and moody wingman from Canada. I think there was some debate in running there between Boris and Jordan who'd take this on, but Jordan got the space away to try and fire the shot in with his right foot, just over the bar, but he got plenty of venom behind it. Now another free kick. When these balls go up in the air, nearly every time it's leading to a decision one way or t'other now. This one going the way of Tampines as Madhu gets it going. Very casual for me at times in defence, Tampines. Back to Shazwan. Zazul trying to close him down. They look for Jordan Webb, who's found some space. Jordan Webb plays it back to Shairul. That's better from Balestier. Kartik involved in that good passage of play, but it breaks down. But Madhu's found himself in a bit of bother. And Suhei Yoshino will try and chase down Shazwan, who manages to clear. And that bounce, I thought for a minute would fall kindly to Tampines. Incredibly scrappy it is now. Jordan Webb's in space if they try and switch play. And they found Jordan Webb in absolute acres here. Jordan Webb attacking the edge of the Balestier area. Jordan Webb pulls the trigger again. Really well blocked. Strong defensive work from Balestier Khalsa. Some space here for Aziz if he can take it first time. Challenge comes in, and I wonder if Tampines have weathered the storm. There's still plenty of time left on the clock, but are Balestier going to get a better opportunity than the penalty they missed to take something from this game? Time is going to tell us, but not yet. Soon, time will become a factor, and I wonder if we are going to see Zulfaimi. Surely they've got to throw him on. He, of all the players out there, would have a big point to prove against his former club, and we know he's capable of the spectacular. No point throwing him on at 2 down, though. Here's Jordan Webb, switch to the right-hand side now. Jordan Webb, lovely play with Mehmedovic. Jordan Webb from a narrow angle. Here's Boris. What a goal-saving tackle that was. It doesn't get any better than that from Fadley, I think it was. Boris Kapulovic looks certain to score his second to put the game beyond Balestier Khalsa. But Fadley here, with the best piece of defending you'll see all weekend anywhere, in any league in the country or the world. Superb stuff from Fadley. Jordan Webb did the right thing, squared it to Big Boris. And Fadley with a superb interception. There is, though, now a corner to defend. Nakamura. Headed away, edge of the area, bouncing around. They need to clear it. Only to the edge of the box, and that's not the best shot from range that'll ever be struck. Now, Shannon Stephen, back from this long injury layoff after those terrible 2 anterior cruciate ligament injuries. He's lasted the best part of 75 minutes. He's going to be replaced by Erwin Shaw, who was the star of the Community Shield for Tampines. And with fresh legs, I wonder now whether he can make something happen down that right-hand side for the Stags, just like he did make it happen down the left-hand side in the Community Shield. One thing Gavin Lee is not afraid to do is not just rotate players, but rotate positions as well. It keeps the opposition guessing, amongst other things. That's over the top, looking for Hazwan. Look at Zazul trying to chase this down. Zazul! He's a man mountain, and his hard work in industry has let Balestier Khalsa win it back. What skills from Zazul. He's beaten one, he's beaten two. Into the area, Zazul. And he wins a corner. Well, it's entertaining. It's a bit stop-start, but it's gripping stuff here at our Tampines Hub live on the One Play Sports Network, Singtel Star Hub, and the Football Association of Singapore's social media channels. The opening weekend of the 2020 Singapore Premier League season. The Stags with the slenderest of 1-0 leads. Balestier having already missed a penalty to level it up. Hazwan with yet another Balestier Khalsa corner. They're 6th now. And another one that doesn't force Shazwan into a save. Well, I'm thankful that the flurry of yellow cards has abated. We're still on 3 yellows aside. Shannon was one of those players on a yellow, and he's now obviously off. As Mehmedovic has got all the time and space in the world to run into here. Look at Boris on one side, Jordan Webb on the other. Doesn't manage to thread it through to Boris, and the opportunity is gone, and it now is created at the other end. Now the flag's up for offside here. I wouldn't mind seeing the replay there. I think it was Hoshino offside again, not Boris. I should say Hoshino, not Zazul there. Let's have a look at this. I thought Zazul was okay. Was I wrong? It's marginal, isn't it? Certainly I think Hoshino was. We'll give the assistant referee the benefit of the doubt. Zulfaimi is about to come on for Balestier. Is the script set for him? After being dumped by Tampines following a miserable 2019 after scoring the goal of the season in 2018, is he going to come on and prove Tampines wrong for letting him go? He's about to enter the fray for the Tigers. There's 16 minutes and a bit for him to make a difference, but it might become moot if Tampines can score with this attack. They won't do it like that, though. Zeifel gathers it nicely. My keeper's mixed up temporarily there. That was Shazwan. No, it wasn't. I was right first time. It was Zeifel. Getting too excited here. Oh, that was a challenge that followed through into Faisal, I think it was, but he's still on the deck. His teammates are playing on. Here's Hazwan. Options in the middle galore. There's 3 red shirts waiting for it. Hazwan. Still, there's a Balestier Khalsa player down. And the referee's going to have to stop this shortly, and he does. And it will give the opportunity for Zulfaimi to come onto the fray. It is Faisal, the player on the deck. Well, here we go. How many times do we see this as Kartik is replaced by Zulfaimi, a man capable of the spectacular, but let go by Tampines Rovers. Is he going to prove that decision to be a bad one? Marko Krajovic giving him 15 minutes to affect the outcome of this game in the second half, which arguably, if it was a boxing contest, you'd have to say Balestier are winning on points. But it's not a boxing contest, it's a football match. They've missed the penalty that would have given them the equaliser. We've got fresh legs on for Tampines in Erwin Shah. We've got fresh legs on for Balestier now in Zulfaimi. And the ball sent all the way back to Zeifel. Couldn't really do much about the goal, Zeifel. Both keepers have had periods where they've been inactive and periods where they've been busy in this match. As the floodlights now come on, as night sets in here in the east coast of Singapore. Wherever you're watching around the world, you're very welcome to the opening weekend of the Singapore Premier League. Here's Hazwan, lets it bounce, tries to take it on. Marshall well by Charles. Here's Jordan Webb again. Oh, Jordan Webb. Taken down by Hazwan, who's on a yellow card, as is Jordan Webb, so they've both got to be careful. Well, someone needs to go up a gear here. Tampines are not showing overriding ambition to try and get a second goal to kill it off, and Balestier are slowly but surely going to have to start pushing further forward. Really is a superb setting here, our Tampines Hub, and the floodlights come on. They got away with one there, Tampines. Aziz cleans it up. I'll try and play it out now with Charul. They've given it up again, though. Nice play from Fadley, who made a goal-saving tackle moments ago. Haswan. They've got these big numbers in the box. Haswan trying to get it back. There was a good interception from Sharul. Now turning Mehmedovic. That's going to be a card as well, I fancy. Another Balestier Khalsa player goes in the book, and that will be Faisal now on a tightrope. Shirul. Jordan Webb again, he's found some space here. He's got Mehmedovic ahead of him. Boris over on the far side. Jordan Webb fires Mehmedovic. Aziz. Jordan Webb for the return. There he is. Boris in the middle making a run. Well, I can't believe they're trying to run the clock down already, Tampines. There's still 12 minutes and time added on to play. Or are they just being patient with their build-up before putting the trigger? Jordan Webb for Nakamura. Nakamura back to the edge of the area. Mehmedovic. Mehmedovic out wide. Oh, he skied it over the bar. Shah should have wrapped things up there, but spurned the opportunity as Marko Kravajevic goes to the bench again. Azizi. Will be coming on in what's now 2 sets of fresh legs in the middle of the park for Balestier. Oh, what a chance that was. Glorious opportunity for Shah Sharan to put the game to bed for Tampines. As it is, here's Shuhei Hoshino. Hoshino trying to get it through to Zazul, not on that occasion. Nice flip from Azoan, but it was all style and no substance. Zazul not on the same page. Oh, that's a good interception. Intelligent football, that. And Balestier, for me, are winning the midfield battle at the moment. They've just got to try and make it happen in the final third. They're battling hard here. Encouraging signs, whatever happens in the remainder of this game for Marko Kravajevic. This doesn't look to me like a team that will finish bottom this season. We've already seen Geylang look pretty rough in their 4-0 defeat against Alborex. It looks like the young Lions, having had an improved campaign by their standards, are going to have to start getting ready to maybe struggle again. They're trailing Hougang by 3-1. They were 3-0 down at half-time, so at least they win in the second half. Well, Zazul knew he was offside there, tried to encourage Haswan to run for it. Haven't seen too much of Zulfaimi so far. Keep an eye out for him. We're in the number 17 jersey for Balestier as we enter the final 10 minutes here at our Tampines hub. I can tell you, getting ready to come on for Tampines is Taufik Supano, a goal scorer in that 3-3 game here. Oh, there's an elbow going out there from Big Bruno, and Boris is down. Well, let's have a look at this in the replay. That definitely looked like a shrug of the elbow to the assistant referee. Has he seen this? This looked worse than some of the more innocuous ones. We've seen Ensar Brunovic, but he definitely swung the arm out there. Referee's taking no further action. Let's have a look at it one more time. Well, I think, in fairness, you have to give the defender the benefit of the doubt there. It looked like a natural running motion, and it has clocked Boris Kapotovic in the throat, I think. Sharul will be replaced by Taufik Supano. Now, on the face of it, that's quite an attack-minded change. Looks like he's exhausted, doesn't he? Sharul will work very hard indeed. Have to say, as things stand, there's 2 highlights for me in this game, and they've both been defensive. The Fadley goal-scoring saver, that tackle in the second half for Balestier, and the penalty stay from Shazwan on the hour mark from Shuhei Hoshino. Is there another goal in this game? Here's the fresh legs of Taufik Supano, immediately trying to make an impact, and immediately, well, I thought he won a corner, but it's out for a goal kick. A reminder that the final whistle, we'll be able to get a full-time show with our very own Duncan Elias, Babs Latimer and Shukul Zailan. Well, they need to up it, Balestier, find reserves of energy from somewhere, get Zulfaimi involved in the game. They'll get another free kick here, but they've had at least a dozen now. Set-piece opportunities in Tampines territory and not really force Shazwin into a save unless you call a penalty kick a set-piece, which I suppose you should do, really. Hazwan will get another bite at the cherry here. Now, keep an eye on Fadley, who's... I don't think Tampines have picked Fadley up here over on that right-hand side. You've got Ensar Brunovic up from the back as well. Hazwan dinks it into the middle and he looks for Fadley, who heads it on. Jordan Webb eventually gets it clear. Well, they were planning that, weren't they? We picked it up from here. We're like the eye in the sky here, but the Stags defence didn't catch the sneakiness of Fadley going into the area as Zeifel belts that clear. He was offside, that's why Ensar Brunovic didn't run after that one. He needs to get himself back into defence. Here's Shah. Well intercepted by Balestier Khalsa. There's fight in them, you know. They're not going to roll over here. Would love to see Zulfaimi get involved in the game, though. Just not seen enough of him since he was introduced with about 20 to play. And that's another free kick. It's time for the foul on Torfik. Some space now for Torfik. Diving into the area, and he's gone down again. He's gone down again. And this time it's Zulfaimi, the ex-Tampines man, that I think is going to go into the book, is he? No, not the return. He wanted to go into the ledger, Zulfaimi, on his return, but he wanted to do it for scoring a goal. He's picked up another yellow. So Balestier now with 5 players in the referee's book to Tampines 3, but I wonder whether the powers that be at the Football Association of Singapore, if this continues, might be a little bit concerned about the discipline in the first weekend of the Singapore Premier League. Gavin Lee looks on a little bit concerned here. I mean, you can forgive Tampines for maybe being a little bit lacklustre with the busy schedule they've got. They know they've got the big game against Brunei DPMM to come on Saturday in Brunei, but it's no good to them, that one, really, unless they pick up maximum points in their opener. We've not seen too many leaders run down in the Singapore Premier League over recent years. They've got a free kick opportunity now to get the second goal that would surely kill this game off. Nakamura is over it. Tries to get the shot away. It's saved by Khalili, and now the keeper should gather that. Zainawan does. Only one red shirt committed inside the Tampines area at the moment. Can they find him? The answer is yes. Needs support quickly, but Hazwan to win another free kick. Well, my word, it's been a scrappy occasion, this. There must be 35 times the referee's blown his whistle. And now another card's going out now. He's going to show this to Mehmedovic, I think. Yep, Mehmedovic. So make that the 9th yellow card in the game. Balestier winning that battle, rather a battle they wouldn't want to win by 5-4. But with all these big men from set pieces, Ensar Brunovic, with the likes of Zazul, with the likes of Suhei Hoshino, they have surely got to get the delivery right here and the running right to one of these set pieces. Keep an eye on Zazul. He looks to me to have adopted a different running style from this one. It goes across looking for Bruno. He can't get there, and it's Boris Kapotovic, another big man, but this one in a black shirt, that starts to run it out. We are into the final 4 minutes. Tampines searching for a second to kill the game off. Balestier trying to find an equaliser from somewhere. Looks like the Young Lions are going to be defeated. They're around about 5 minutes to play there, and it's still Hougang with that 3-1 lead, as that's well cleared by Aziz. Over the top, Zazul's got some space here if he can bring this down. Zazul, don't want to concede another penalty, Tampines. Zazul barrowing his way to the byline and manages to keep that in. He could have had a corner there, decided to play on, and on that evidence, it was the wrong decision. Well, I'd love to know what you think watching. If you're watching on Facebook, leave your comments in the box below our One Play or the Football Association of Singapore. I think Balestier have been valued for a point or to get something out of this game here. They came into it as massive underdogs, but they've battled hard. They fell behind inside the first 10 minutes. They've missed a penalty, remember. And Tampines will have to put in a better performance than this, I fancy, if they're going to triumph in Brunei on Saturday. As for Balestier, if they keep on performing like this, they aren't going to finish bottom of the Singapore Premier League this season. Throwing goes the way of Balestier. Aziz holding it up now. We're seeing some dreaded cramp out there. It was noticeable that no Albirex Nagata player had cramp yesterday. I think 3 or 4 of the Geylang boys went down with it. Tampines already 5 games in competitively to the season. Look to be finishing this, as you'd expect, maybe a little bit fitter. But Balestier are still in there pitching. Now 2 minutes to save something from the game. And it's Hazwan again who leaves the throw to take the long throw option. They're not throwing Ensar Brunovic forward for this one, or they are now, and Boris tracks him back. So Bruno and Boris, the battle of the big Bs in the penalty area. The long throw is going to come from Faisal. Faisal doesn't quite beat the first Tampines defender. It drops to the edge of the area. And the less said about that effort from Azizi, the better. Well, it now looks like Tampines are going to grind this out. And I suppose if you are going to win a title, some games you'll win in spectacular fashion. Some games you'll scrape by with the 3 points. And this certainly falls into the latter category. Tampines, again, this tactic that Singapore teams are employing, trying to copy some of the more flamboyant sides around the world of playing the ball out from the back at goal kicks. That's going to come back to bite many of them in the backside this season. You mark my words, as Mehmedovic. Oof, looks for the options. Azul nearly pounced there. He manages to find Madu. And now Shah. Well, with less than 40 seconds of the 90 remaining, attention now turns to the 4th official to see what number he'll hold up. Can Tampines make that number redundant by scoring on this passage of play? Shah, intelligent football, keeping possession. They know Balestier can't score if they haven't got the ball in these closing moments. Boris lays it off to Nakamura. Are they going to play the corner flag route in these final moments? Here's Mehmedovic to Nakamura. Boris makes the run. Boris can't get there. Headed to the edge of the area. Might still come to Mehmedovic. No, it doesn't. And now Balestier have their chance for a break. Hoshino still driving forward. The flag is up here. He's offside. 4 minutes will be added on. Zuzul just couldn't time the run correctly, and I think that's the tired limbs more than anything else, really hampering Balestier in the closing moments. So 4 minutes to be added on. And you check this, Tampines held their line really well, and that's a correct decision from the assistant referees. Credit to the assistant referees, have had good games today. Mr. Manoj Kalwani and Tang Min Koi, the referee as well. Farhad Mohammed, I think you have to say the fact he's kept the 22 players on the pitch is testament to how he's skillfully managed this game as well, because there were a couple of flare-up incidents, particularly in the second half. And the penalty decision was spot on as well. Oh, here's Nakamura driving to the edge of the area. Nakamura, still Nakamura, still Nakamura. Finds Boris Kaponovic, who finds Jordan Webb. Back to Aziz, to Jordan Webb. Just over the head of Boris and Jordan Webb, and Zainal will now surely just hit this as hard as he can into Tampines territory and hope for the best. Zuzul with a nice touch. Hazwan, Zuzul's through on goal, referee playing advantage. Zuzul into the area, can he get the equaliser in the dying embers? Pulls it back surely. Oh, another goal-saving interjection. How on earth have Balestier not scored there? Well, there's been 2 goal-saving tackles in this game. We saw Fadley earlier on, and that time it was Shah. Marvellous work from Shah Shahiran. Zuzul, an absolute menace, and Shah Shahiran, and again, like Fadley's earlier, had to be absolutely perfect to take the ball off the toes of Zulfaimi, and there it was. The script was written for Zulfaimi to score the equaliser against his former club in the closing seconds. But Shah Shahiran had different ideas about that particular script, and now surely the points are going into the Tampines Rovers ledger at the start of this 2020 season. There is, though, still a corner to defend as Hougang take a 4-1 lead in Jurong West against the Young Lions. It's Hougang 4, the Young Lions 1. We saw Albrechts win convincingly yesterday. We've seen Hougang win convincingly today. Tampines are desperate for the finishing line here at our Tampines hub. How many set-piece opportunities do Balestier Khalsa want before they can score? This is their 7th corner of the game, and it comes with less than 90 seconds to play. The keeper's coming up from the back. Zainal's there. All bar 2 players are inside the Tampines penalty area. Chaos could possibly ensue here. Zainal's going to get to this, is he? No! Oh, what a save! Tipped over the bar from Shazwan, who's now made 3 world-class saves. What on earth do they have to do to score Balestier? Fadley this time, having saved the goal at one end, he almost scored the equaliser at the other, or helped create it. Look at this, keep an eye out. Vazuhai again. What on earth have they got to do to score? Hazwan, corner number 8. This could well be their last opportunity. Zaiful stayed up. Comes across the face of all of them, Zaiful! Oh, blocked on the line. And Tampines get it away. What a dramatic conclusion to this match. And I think that's Balestier's last shot at something gone from this matchup. But boy, oh boy, they've done everything but score. Well, they may have had 5 goals at Jurong West. They may have had 4 at Jurong East yesterday. We may have only had 1 here at our Tampines sub tonight. But this game has been enthralling. Tampines not at their best. Balestier sure to improve. But they'll be going into the sheds after this one, scratching their heads at how they haven't come away with at least a point. No one would have thought this when Tampines took the lead inside 8 minutes, that this would turn out to be a fixture they grind out the victory in. And it still may not be over yet. Faisal with another one of his long throws on the way, and Zainal's back forward again. Can a goalkeeper score from a throw-in? My word, it's still bouncing around to the edge of the area and just wide of the post. I think the whistle had got it, wouldn't have counted. I think there was a handball in there, and that should be that. Well, our referee blows for full time, Mr. Farhad Mohammed. Both sets of players out on their feet. It seems a lifetime ago now that Boris Kaponovic, with his 7th goal in 8 games, gave Tampines the lead inside 8 minutes. In the second half, though, how we haven't seen more goals, goodness only knows. A penalty won by the returning Shuhei Yoshino was taken by the returning Shuhei Yoshino and saved brilliantly from Shazwan, who went on to make another excellent save from Zuzul. At the other end, Fadley, with a goal-saving tackle, prevented Tampines from going 2 in front, before at the other end, Shah did the same in the Tampines defence. Only a goal in the game. The points go to Tampines, courtesy of Boris Kaponovic. Don't forget Duncan Elias, Zhukul Zailan and Barbara Latimer will be with you shortly for the full-time show with all the reaction from the coaches and the players that have been the difference makers in this one. We're still waiting for the final whistle over there in Jurong East between the Young Lions and Hougang. Remember, last we heard, Hougang 4-1 in front now, and that seems to be the way that one is finishing. Hougang adding a 4th in injury time there. But for me, the story coming out of this game, as much as it's a win for Tampines, is the performance of Balestier. Wouldn't spoon this last year. They are going to beat some teams this, and if they can just get Zuzul and Shuhei Yoshino to click, they will be a threat. It's finished here at our Tampines hub. Tampines Rovers 1, Balestier Khalsa 0.
So hard-fought victory for Tampines Rovers by 1-0 over Balestier Khalsa. 3 points in the bag for them, Syukur Zailan, but they had to work hard for it.
I agree. It's unlucky for Balestier today. If not 1 point, I believe they could get the full 3 points for Balestier. It's really unlucky for them. I'm entertained by the match today.
Really entertaining game. We have Barbara Latimer down pitch side with Faizal Rafi of Balestier Khalsa.
I have with me Faizal from Balestier. Tell me, do you feel a little bit hard done having not come away with a point today?
I think we were very, very good. We put in a great shift today. They're resolute in defense, and I think they didn't thought we were gonna be creating a lot of chances, and we really did created a lot of chances. And I think just luck was not on our side today. We limited them to very few chances as well, especially in the second half. Even the first half, the goal was their only chance, clear-cut chance. The rest, we put in a great counter-attack today, and I think it's just unlucky. I would say I just think we are really unlucky. And the penalty, I think the ball moved because of the wind, and Jumbo didn't get a good shot on that.
That's okay. Now, I do have to ask, was the game plan to make it a bit more of a physical contest today?
I mean, we know their strength is moving the ball, so we cannot allow them space. So we have to be quicker before they pick the pass, we have to make them like pass back or something. So we just had to go all out. Like, they have technically good players, and we were pretty good physically, and we had to match with their technical abilities. So the main thing is that we just wanted to be first to the ball, second to the ball, and I think we did really well. I can't think of any other reason other than the luck part.
Okay, so obviously last year you guys were bottom of the table, but going on today's match and how it went and the kind of fight that you guys put up, how do you think this season is looking for you?
Even during pre-season, I think we thought we were a very good side. We were training very hard as well, and we knew we were going to be doing better than last year because I think we have a very good squad as well. Last year, the team was unlucky with injuries as well, especially our goalkeeper, our captain. And I think this year we are very focused on that, to keep everyone fit as long as possible. And if we keep everyone fit, I think we can put in a lot more better performances. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. We look forward to seeing more of you guys. Duncan, it's back to you.
Thanks, Barbara. Yes, very well said by Faizal Rafi. Just luck wasn't on their side today. They halved in their path. They had their chances, but just couldn't find the back of the net.
Yeah, it's really unlucky. I mean, it's chances of chances. They keep creating and creating. They work so hard, but definitely they need to work extra hard to get the goal coming.
Was it a game plan of Balestier Khalsa to be a little bit physical in their approach against Tampines Rovers, who on paper were heavy favourites today?
Yeah, I think that's the game plan. As you can see, they're very physical. They're trying to win all the second balls, first ball. They want to get in front of the goal fast. And yeah, like I said, it's unlucky for them to not get the goal.
It was stop-start. I think Patrick Kinghorn in commentary said there were 9 yellow cards in total in the match, and I was just interrupting the momentum of Tampines Rovers, and it worked to Balestier Khalsa's favour. Very direct in their approach. Marko Kralovic drilling them really, really well. But I mean, that's the game plan, and that works for them, Balestier Khalsa, and they went direct and almost hurt Tampines Rovers.
Yeah, I think Tampines' game plan also, they try to slow down the game. They try to break Balestier momentum by getting a lot of fouls committed from Balestier, so that they could not reorganize and keep on attacking.
Barbara Latimer is with, some would say, the man of the match. The penalty save by Shazwan Buhari. He is with Barbara.
I have with me team captain, goalkeeper Shazwan from the Tampines Rovers. Now, how much of a grind was it today?
It's a very tough game. I mean, in the second half, they came all out to attack us, and they had 2 big men up front. We had quite a difficult time to deal with them, but I think in the end we coped very well with their threats.
And talk to me about that penalty shot. How did you read it right?
It was down to luck, I guess. I picked a spot and he shoot there, so yeah.
Do you think when it came to performance today, did fatigue at all play a part? Because I know you guys have been playing a lot of matches. You got a lot of stuff lined up.
Yeah, I think in the second half we kind of slowed down a bit compared to the first half. And yeah, looking forward to the next 6 games we have in the next 3 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing more from you guys. Duncan, it's back to you.
I think
All
if you
right,
save a
thanks, good
penalty
job.
and that leads to your team winning, you have to be man of the match.
Definitely, I think the team have to give him a big credit because he saved a lot today. If not for him, I think it's either a draw or Balestier could have won the game.
It wasn't just the penalty save. There were saves of Hoshino again. I think it was a great save at the end as well. I think it was Zuzul who had the header. So great stuff. We'll see later on in the highlights of his contribution. But it started very, very early on for Tampines. The goal coming in very early on. And it was a goal after great setup play down the right by Joel Chu. It was Boris Kopitovic. The only goal of the game coming after 8 minutes. Great ball in. I mean, this is undefendable.
Great ball, great goal.
Kopitovic with the strike. 7 in 8 games for Tampines Rovers and really showing his worth. Again, just bypassing 3 defenders. None of them could have had a touch on that, otherwise it would have cost an own goal. So that's great stuff by Kopitovic. 1-0 up, and you thought, well, they'll carry on, but Balestier got back into it, and then Zuzul with this opportunity. Poor first touch, but good save, Shazwan.
Definitely, good save, good ball, technically very, very good. It's unlucky for him.
Yeah,
Shazwan, good positioning.
That's the first big save by Shazwan Buhari in the match. Into second half highlights. Balestier knocking on the door. It was a bit of a scrap. There was Shazwan who just got ahead of Hazwan Halib, who plied a very lonely role down the wing. His set pieces delivery were good, but just didn't have the contribution he would have liked today. And this was the penalty shout and the turning point of the match. Everyone was all over Hoshino, and I think it was tucked back in the end by Shah Shahiran. Yeah, I think it was Shah Shahiran in the end that tucked Hoshino behind. But these 3 players just unable to deal with the strength. It was Shah Shahiran in the end. And he picked up the ball after that. And I mean, with the expectation of him coming in as the league's top scorer of 2018, you would have thought he would have got the penalty. Saved by Shazwan. What a save that was. The run-up was good. And he almost dived over the penalty strike.
Yeah, I can see
so
that.
it was a good save by Shazwan Buhari. But Balestier didn't lose hope. And this set-up play to Hoshino again. Shazwan with the flick over the bar. So rightly so, man of the match. Hazwan just drifting in field, setting up Hoshino, who will have a sleepless night tonight, I'm sure, after all the chances. And this was good play by Tampines. Jordan, 1-2 with Mehmedovic. And look at this tackle by Fadli Khamis. Goal-saving tackle to deny Kopitovic.
Good reading of the game. Yes, he looked where Kopitovic is. Nicely timed tackle.
A great save by Fadli. And this was another good setup. Shah Shahiran just skying his effort. I think it did bobble before it reached Shah. So can't be too harsh on him, but great setup play. Good vision by Mehmedovic to find Shah, but again, over the bar. And the chances came on in this match. It really came alive in the second half. Zuzul getting his own connection into the area with the setup. And then Shah Shahiran on the other end of the pitch with another goal-saving tackle, this time Tampines Rovers. Could he have released it a little earlier here, Zuzul?
Yeah, he could have, he could have.
Was looking for Zulfaqmi Susliman of all people. And by this time, Saiful Nizam was up for the set pieces. It was Bruncevic. Bruno, his header tipped over by Shazwan. So top performance, top goalkeeping performance by Shazwan Buhari. Will Tampines Rovers be happy with the result and just say, you know, we got over the fatigue, we got over the AFC Cup. Performance wasn't there. They didn't reach the levels that they usually reach. Will they just be happy that they got away with the 3 points?
Well, I mean, a win is still a win. It's a good 3 points for them, but they really need to work on their back line because, as you can see, Balestier forward, Shohei and Zuzu is very strong physically, and they struggle to keep up with him. So they need to work on that.
And for Balestier Khalsa, rock bottom. Last season, They won't finish bottom this season, will they, with that kind of performance?
No, I have my doubt on that. I think they can finish top 6. I think they deserve a spot in the top 6. They played well today. I hope they be consistent throughout the season.
Well, Tampines Rovers start the season with 3 points. They join Hougang United and Albirex Niigata at the top of the table. That's the end of the first weekend of the AIA Singapore Premier League. We'll see you on Friday as we have the first look at Tanjong Pagar and Lion City Sailors. On behalf of Shukos Island, I'm Duncan Elias, signing out from our Tampines Hub.